So, Emilio, thank you so much for coming back.
Yeah.
Obviously, always a pleasure to see you.
It's a pleasure.
I'm glad we get to do a podcast
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
That's when I see you. So,
Guys, Emilio Pastor here, host of the EP podcast, founder of EPEX. I'm here with the guys at LiR Running, Keith, Adrian. Thank you so much for having me again. We had a great time last time. It was a little bit of a blur. But not because it was a forgetful experience, but because the liquor said otherwise.
yeah.
This time I didn't come empty-handed, and I'm excited to just chat it up with you guys. I'm not going to go into a lot of like my background because you guys already know it. And so if you guys haven't already, go watch my episode on their podcast. I don't know what episode it was, but Emilio Pastor, you can look it up and see me there. So yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah. Awesome. So, I'm just curious. I mean, it's been a year, dude. What have you been up to? You're always a busy guy.
So, the usual, podcasting, things with EPEX, the day job, and then life, right?
Yeah, life.
Yeah, life, yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Fast forwarding from when I was last year, we had our summit over in Atlantic City. That was really cool. It was our biggest one yet. We have our new one coming up this August. It's going to be in Philadelphia. So I'm very excited for that. So that happened, and the podcast has just been growing. It's been growing really well on YouTube. So I'm just very happy about that. We got our P's and Q's to the best it's ever been. So just kind of going through there. Yeah. So for those that don't know, EPEX is my personal development company / community. What we do in there is host events throughout the year that help build 4 pillars: health, wealth, love, and happiness, and just kind of work on that. We do monthly masterminds now, so every month we get on Zoom and then just chat up about what it is that happened in the last month in terms of like wins, losses, and challenges, and what it is that we're looking forward to in the new month, and so on. We do that every month, and then we do quarterly events. The summit is our biggest event of the year, and that's just a rotating calendar thing.
So have you had the monthly mastermind since the tariffs got announced?
Oh, yeah. I haven't done enough homework with the tariff stuff. I know here's the thing. I open my Instagram, and then it's just headlines left and right. Mm-hmm. I see people freaking out about prices gonna go up because of the tariffs, but I also hear the other side of it about how it's just like an initial hurdle for a longer term benefit. I see headlines about how so many countries are now willing to get rid of tariffs in like overall, if America's willing to too, because now they're doing that reciprocal thing, right?
Yep. That was. I mean, if you take it at face value for what was announced, these are all reciprocal tariffs. We're not tariffing anyone who doesn't already tariff us.
Right. Which here's the thing. There's ways how I look at some things, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily fitting for others. So I don't know what the implications of that is in terms of economics, but it makes sense, right? It's like personally, I don't believe in an eye for an eye, but maybe it makes sense in that aspect. Right. So, we'll see. But
it's not eye for an eye, but it is dollar for dollar.
Dollar for dollar. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I saw someone post, I think on X this morning. I forget what it was, but it was something about how previous administrations tried to do a reciprocal tax thing, but the media blows up about, oh my God, Trump this, Trump that, like Trump. Blah, 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 blah.
I just saw a reel. I was scrolling Instagram today, and it was a video of Nancy Pelosi back in 1996 or 1998.
Yep, that was one of them.
Exactly
that was one
about China tariffs us at 30-something%. You should be, you're as congressmen and women, we should be going after the president to, go after these reciprocal tariffs and all that. And it's because of who announced it. There is a knee-jerk reaction from the media, and
that completely went over my head. How it's since we last been together, like a whole campaign and a whole election happened. So
we're in a strange new future,
dude. Dude, I got involved in it, like from a media standpoint. And man, I got shit left and right and left.
Right. You can't have an opinion. You will catch shit from every direction.
Even if you approach it subjectively, with the purpose to inform, not influence.
Oh yeah,
you still get shit on.
No, yeah,
you still get shit on.
People say you have an agenda. Or
sorry, are you guys cool with me cussing? I forget.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Right. Yeah. So, dude, I attempted a Trump rally. I attempted a Kamala rally. I got shit both times. I got shit both times.
No way.
I got shit both times.
Like there, or just for the fact of going?
I went there because I wanted. Well, had never been to a rally before, and I wanted to go see what exactly goes on in these.
Yeah.
So, there was two things could be true. One of the big things that you would hear is that with the Trump rallies is what was it, that the stadiums were like insanely packed. The one I went to wasn't as packed as people say, but also from the Kamala standpoint, it was more like a festival. It was more like a festival, not so much a rally. Yeah. I was really disappointed in the Kamala rally because this was her last one, her closing out in Philly.
Yeah.
And she has started. Where did she start?
It was somewhere north.
Yeah, so she has started somewhere north in PA, and then she was finishing at the Rocky Steps, and where they messed up from an event coordinating standpoint, they were streaming her other speech that she had beforehand, and she came over to Philly. Mind you, we were at this point standing 7 hours waiting for this.
Wow.
Pittsburgh, and then she said the exact same thing, like word for word. It's like you would think at least switch it up a little bit, you know.
I do have a question. Removing all politics from it, well, we obviously now with hindsight know how the election went, but was that kind of being foreshadowed at the rallies, like just the general energy and vibe going to each one? Like, did one seem high energy? One seem kind of like, this is like a political rally.
I think in terms of politics, the one Trump rally I went to was better than the Kamala rally.
Okay.
Yeah. From an event standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, Kamala got it. I mean, we saw Gaga, we saw Ricky Martin, we saw Oprah. I never thought I was going to see Ricky Martin in my lifetime. I remember when I was in Ecuador. When I was in Ecuador, and my mom was playing Ricky Martin left and right. Oh, baby, baby, la vida loca, all that stuff.
Right.
It's like I was like, yeah, man, dude. And then I saw first off, the guy looks great. The guy is like 40s or 50s, so I don't even know how old he is, but he looked great, and he was just killing it. It was very, very. Gaga was there. She was. To each their own with their fashion sense. Right. But she had like the whole bleach eyebrow thing going on, and it's just like she was okay. She was okay, yeah. But it was entertaining, good selection of food. I think overpriced for sure, but no, Huh? And we got to the front, yeah. So we were eating, and all of a sudden this dude runs up to us. He's like, "Hey, do you guys want to be like in the front section?" Because there was like the main area. There was like the main area, and there was like right by the steps. Yeah. Right, and that was like split off. And she's like, I have exactly 3 passes. So we're like, sure. So I was like, it seemed off. It seemed off. So we say, screw it, we'll do it, and then we end up literally right up front. So we were like super close. But I was wearing my at the time politics merch because I was like, America starts with us. That was my whole spiel. But. It's different experiences. Yeah, but
I was wondering if you had to like put on a Kamala hat.
No, I had my EP podcast. You know what I did do though? If you don't mind going to eppodcast.us and this, I just trolled people with this crap.
No, it's to the right side.
Sorry, are you guys cool with her like getting like background shots and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So EP podcast.
eppodcast.us.
.us.
Yeah, so I made a collection called Make Media Great Again. And look at the hats, right? So if you go to shop now, and then you look at
got the red Make Media Great Again.
Yeah, so
that's hilarious.
So because my whole spiel is against like mainstream media.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd make it very similar to the MAGA hat. I wore this out, not the red one, the black one. Yeah. I wore it out so many times. Every single time I got a double take. I got a double take. I overheard this one girl at the bar. She's like, you see his hat? And her friend is like, she's like, yeah, what about it? He's like, so why is he wearing that? And then she's like, because she thought it was a MAGA hat.
Right.
And her friend was like, oh, it says Make Media Great. All of a sudden, everything's diffused. Right? Because it's like people get triggered. Yeah. It's like actually, a reflex.
Speaking of getting triggered and like diffusing, you rolled up here in a Tesla.
Not mine. Not mine. No, that's hers. That's hers. Yeah.
I love Tesla.
Yeah. We have Sentry mode on. I don't know where you guys lie politically. We have Sentry mode on.
I
So the cameras are. Well, good thing it's not my car. But yeah, and also like you know what's the irony of that? They're calling Republicans fascists, Nazis, and all that stuff. But they're the ones drawing the swastikas and all that on their cars and all that crap.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just
what's also, I mean, just off of 5 years ago, it was all about going, or 10 years ago, all about going green.
2 years ago, before Trump ran.
Yeah.
But it's all about going green, and electric cars are like going to be the only way. You know, like California is going to stop selling all gasoline cars.
We're in upside down world right now.
The best, most productive company who's done the best job at making the infrastructure and a good electric car, like now we're done with that guy. But we have to like stop buying those cars.
I think where it started was when Trump held that EV event at the White House. I'm not Trump, Biden, a couple years ago, and he invited everybody except Elon. And I don't know if you what athlete was it that said, I think it was Jordan. He was like, and I took that personal, right? It's like a joke about it. It's like a joke. So I'm like, and I'm sure Elon took that personal because he was the leader in EV in America.
He got snubbed, and I remember I saw tons of clips from that whole event because I didn't watch the actual event, but he was Biden was praising the head of GM for being the leader in American EV technology and pushing everyone forward. And like, I don't care what side of the political spectrum you fall on, but you sit there and scratch your head and go, what?
Yeah.
Because all politics aside, love or hate Elon, the only reason EVs are even remotely a thing is because Tesla made, one, a good car, and two, put the effort into making the infrastructure to support it.
Not to mention, all the other EV companies are benefiting from his, what's it called?
The supercharger network.
Yes. So it's like, but so it started there, I think.
I kind of think it might have started during the pandemic when California told him to shut down, but then let Ford keep running.
I'm sure it was like a numerous.
That was one of the first cracks in the armor there.
And now I remember he went on. Was it Tucker Carlson? Was it or? Probably. I think it was Tucker Carlson or Joe. No, it was Jordan Peterson. He went on an interview with Jordan Peterson, and he said his daughter, I think it was one of his kids, was killed by the woke mind virus, right? And he said he was gonna make it his life's work to destroy it, and that was like a year ago, or not even a little further ago. And look now.
Yeah,
it's if there's anything that we should do is not undermine how far some of these people are willing to go to make a point, because including now with Doge and everything, you think we were talking about how complicated and exhausting life gets with everything we take on. This dude has like 14 kids, is running multiple billion-dollar companies, and then is getting involved with the government. So it's like, I don't think he has enough on his plate,
Yeah, and he's attending a lot of these like press conferences and stuff. He was like standing in the White House with Trump and like asking or answering questions rather.
You know what's the other crazy thing about that? Everybody's giving Elon shit for being in Doge and being an unelected official of the government, but no one's talking shit about the Airbnb founder being part of the Doge team. Did you guys know? I just found that out the other day. The Airbnb founder is literally one of the heads at Doge as well.
Interesting.
And I forget exactly his role. I mean, you guys can look it up if you want, but I'm like, what the hell? Why is no one ever saying anything about this?
Also, with Elon being involved, like, isn't that the same as like we've got our elected president who we've decided as a collective that we trust his decision to like hire or put the right people in place, right? If that guy, if instead of Elon, it was like a military contractor or somebody who was like worked at Apple, we wouldn't care. Right? It's Elon.
It's Elon,
and it's not even just that, but like a lot of major departments in the government have heads appointed to them that we don't elect. We don't pick the head of the ATF, the FBI, the CIA, the IRS. We don't elect them. They're
because
they get appointed. They get
by like the president and the people that he's appointed.
Yeah, they get appointed by the president, and
then they go through the Congress.
They get confirmed through Congress.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, Elon did not get confirmed through anything.
Right. But they say the whole thing about like how Doge is not associated with the government. It's more like a consulting firm, like per se.
That's actually the funny thing. The reason why Doge is so hard to stop is that it's operating out of a repurposed department.
Okay.
Obama back in 2000 something, I forget the exact year. He opened up a new department whose job was to modernize like the government's computer systems, how they do like everything through the computer. But Trump took that department, repurposed it, but that department's already been fully secured, voted on, approved, and funded. So now they can't just like say, no, you can't do anything. You can't get the funding for that. It's already been designated.
Yeah.
So,
I
forget what it's called, but it's like the U.S. Oh God, I forget what it's actually called. But it's funny because they just changed one word to Doge, and it keeps the same acronym.
Ah, really? Interesting. Well, one thing's for sure: the Democratic Party. What people are saying is that the Democratic Party of before is what the Republican Party is now.
Yeah.
And the Democratic Party has never been as unfavored as it is today. I think it's like 20% popularity,
22%,
something like that. Yeah. So approval rate. Yeah. So it's like they need to figure something out, because the whole Trump thing is not going to work after this round. Oh, no, unless he tries to finesse a third term somehow. The fact that that's even a conversation is a crazy part. But it's the only person I see right now doing a little bit of a change in course is Gavin Newsom. I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, California's not my ideal model.
But he started his podcast, and his first guest was Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, so
that's interesting.
Charlie Kirk. I love it. There was like one clip. I think one of the clips that got popular was that his kid was super excited to meet Charlie Kirk. And then his kid was like, "Oh, I didn't know." And it's like, "I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. I want to meet Charlie Kirk." And then Charlie asked Gavin, he was like, "Oh, well, did you let him stay home from school today?" And he was like, "No, of course not. Like, why why would I do it?" And then Charlie Kirk was like, "Oh, well, you called off school for like 2 years, so I mean," so I was like, one day is not going to make a difference.
Yeah.
And I just walked right into it.
That's so funny.
So
dude.
I think right now, I forget what word somebody used. I think he's propping himself right now to run for president in the next election, Gavin Newsom, because he's bringing these guests on. He's having the conversations. That interview, he got shit on by the Democrats like crazy. And mind you, before that, the Democrats were like, "Oh my God, handsome Newsom, like he's a great looking guy."
Right.
But it's like. But now they're shitting on him, and I think he's playing it smart, and we'll see. Even Michelle Obama started a podcast too, and it's just like poop, and it was like, and it's like, and it was a rebrand of like a podcast she had with her brother already, and that tanked. And I think they came out with, I think like in 2018, and they came out with like a good amount of episodes, but it's just like you never heard of it.
Right.
You never heard of it.
Yeah,
So
this
it's
is
like,
news to me.
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like what we're definitely seeing is the change in the shift in politics going into mainstream media.
Well, they watched
Why do you think Trump won?
Yeah, they watched Trump.
Why
go
do you
on
think
Rogan.
Trump won over the younger generation?
Yeah.
And you could argue, well, the younger generation is stupid, sure, but that's still an extra vote.
Yeah.
That's still an extra vote. He won. What really messed her up was not going on Joe Rogan. That's what really messed her up,
For
not
sure.
going on Joe Rogan, because we all know. Yes, she has a degree in economics. Yes, she was a lawyer. She has all this, that, and the other case, but she is not good on her feet.
Yeah.
And raw, unfiltered, unscripted conversations. And that's all Joe Rogan is. And that's all Joe Rogan is. And she was like, her team was like, "Oh, if you guys could fly out to this place, we'll do it. And then, we'll do it for an hour."
They want like pre-prepared questions or something.
Right. And Joe Rogan was like, "No." So good for him for standing his ground. But that's what gave Trump a big up, because that was the same time she did the what's that Cooper girl that has her one podcast? Call her daddy. Call her daddy podcast. I think it's like Alexander Cooper or something like that. She's like huge. She's like huge in the space. I think she's like top 5 of podcasts. And Kamala went on her podcast in a hotel, and I think they spent $100,000 on a set in a hotel, and and it was a scripted, structured episode of recording, and that in 3 weeks got 900,000 views.
Yeah. Crazy.
And the first night, and the first day, where after Trump went on Elon's podcast, Rogan's podcast, it got like 30 million views in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So it's like you're being dead to what's going on.
Yeah, within the week it was at like 60 million.
Right.
And not only that, but like you can tell when something's raw, unfiltered, and real. Like when Trump went on there, that's him. That is what he thinks. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
That's it.
And what was the thing with was it Fox News? The interviews? No, what was the interview? A 60-minute interview that she was on, where they had chopped it up to where she had completely shifted what her answer actually was.
Yeah, and they took it out.
Yeah, I think it was during Discovery, because I think Trump took him to court, and I think during Discovery, when you have to hand in all the documents or all the whatever it is, they showed the raw transcript and the recording.
Footage.
Yeah, the raw footage, and they saw that the way she answered wasn't what they actually put up.
Didn't they do that to Trump too? Like he gave. Well, I mean, they do that to him all the time.
Well, here's the thing.
I thought there was a high-profile interview where like it came out after the fact that like they chopped his answer up to make it seem.
I don't know which one you're referring to, but
I could just be
I wouldn't be surprised. But here's the thing, right? Every episode gets edited in podcasting, and from one extent to another. It's one thing editing an episode; it's another thing manipulating an episode.
Right.
Context is everything.
Right. So that's when it becomes a little bit complicated. But either way, politicians are seeing now. It's like, okay, we need to shift our focus and be with independent media a little bit with these. You know what I got hyped about? I would think it was like the first during the first press conference with the new chief of secretary. What's the role again of
Chief of staff?
No. The one that does all the White House briefings. That role.
Oh yeah,
Press secretary. Yes, press secretary. Yeah, I forget her name. Look her up real quick. Press secretary. Sorry, huh? Caroline? No. Press secretary for Trump. Oh, is that what it is, Caroline? Yeah, it is Caroline. Sorry,
Levitt.
You're right. Caroline Levitt. Sorry. Caroline Levitt. She's 27 years old, by the way. Yeah. She's 20. I think she's 27 or 28. Dude, she is amazing. She's amazing at what she does. Does it say there? She was
born in 27.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that, well, first off, she's great. Second off, the first press the press hearing that they announced we're going to be bringing in podcasters. Nice. Literally, they made the space where you could apply to go into the White House and be at the room of where the big media is, and then you could go in and ask questions yourself too. So all you have to do is obviously you got to cover your expenses to be there, but that's a thing now. The fact that we're officially in a day and time where you could see podcasters in the same room as Fox News or the Atlantic or whoever it is, right?
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's good because, all of these the news outlets now, there is no trust. There's no trust there.
In
so
fact,
like being able to have more of like the town hall meeting, kind of style, where like no, we don't all fit in the town hall anymore, right? So like, but to be able to put a more diverse, I guess, like of as far as like
organic
CEO or like
more organic.
Or I just mean like more a broader
spectrum
range of people who get to like be there as opposed to it just being like a huge Fox News.
See, this in a roundabout way is almost like a return to form, because if you go back way back, you didn't have massive media conglomerates that owned every media outlet, and each, like if you were to have a
Fox News,
a press meeting with the White House, you'd have these individual media companies, like local newspapers and whatnot, where every single one was their own identity, and there was no way to push one agenda across multiple outlets.
Yeah.
By bringing in these independent media, people, podcasters, influencers, all that whatnot, it's almost like a return to form. It's hard to push a singular agenda if you don't own everyone who's coming into these press meetings.
Yeah, which I love, because it's the only way you really get the full picture of things, because everybody is trying to deliver their own version of it, but it's just you need to have you need to be in the room with people you disagree with.
Yeah.
When you have
That's
people,
missing from today's society.
when you're only in the room with people you agree with, that's just an echo chamber.
Yeah.
That's just an echo chamber, and then there is no growth in echo chambers. There is no solving any disputes in an echo chamber. None of that happens in that kind of setting. So it's like, while it is uncomfortable, you need to have that.
Oh yeah.
You need to have that. Yeah, and influencers too. I always give this one guy crap. What's his name? What's the one kid I always give crap? The one he's like a TikToker. Oh man, he does politics. Shit. Look up.
See that one that just got a lot of shit.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, I know exactly. From,
like
the DNC or something.
Oh, wait. No, he just recently got exposed for asking a bunch of girls for like an aggressive manner, like for nudes and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. The usual internet.
Look up TikTok politic influencer. I guarantee you, he's one of the top one. It's like the kind of information you like know in your head, and then you go on camera, and it just goes out the window. Yeah. It's like when you're taking an exam, you study the crap out of it. The moment it gets put on in front of you. Let's see here. Scroll.
Since we're not signed in, it's probably going to yell at us.
Well, go back. Go back. Wait, the name might show up.
Funny enough, I feel like TikTok may not be the right place to find the TikTok.
And let's see images.
Yeah.
He might come up.
This is the
that's the kid. Yeah. Harry Sisson.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah. I can't stand that kid. He's so annoying. Like I'm always going. I follow him. I follow him and like the fleet of people that are like him.
Yeah.
I follow him to be aware of what the hell it is that they're talking about, but also at the same time, it's just like they are full of it, man.
How old is that kid?
He's like 22, 23. So
22.
Can you imagine like having all of the TikTok and stuff at like at the age of like 12 to 18?
Yeah.
I feel like I would be not the same person I am today.
Yeah, kind of like with like Bieber and how he got freaking started in the industry extremely young, and it's impossible to be a regular human being when you're in the industry that early.
Yeah, and like that's him like that's Bieber like being like actually a part of it, but like just to be a kid and having that much stuff, where like you can be 18 and like you're halfway to being like a politician because like all of this information is just like slingshotted into your phone,
dude. And I'm sorry, all these kids look the same. I swear to God, man, they have all the freaking same haircuts. They all sound like they're like 2 octaves like high, like pitchy noises, like voice. I can't stand them. I cringe every time. It's like if they got their testosterone levels checked, it would probably come out really bad. Like I seriously can't. Like all respectfully, disrespectfully. And it's weird. I'm 20 years old talking crap on a 23-year-old. But here's the crazy thing: this kid is not even born in America. That's what came out too. Look, he was born in Singapore. He was born in Singapore, but yet he's
the Wikipedia is saying he actually was born in America.
Native. So if you go back one, go back
native born.
Say he was born in Singapore and temporarily lived in Dubai.
No, born in Singapore. You're right.
Yep, Dubai, and grew up in Dublin, Ireland. But everybody is sold on, and that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But everybody's under the impression that he's full on born in America and like this, that, and the other. Like he can't even be president, as far as I know. Yeah, he can't even be president. Yeah. So it's like they're manipulating everybody. And when you look at the comment section of these guys' videos, they're just glazing the F out of these people, man. It's just so annoying. I can't stand them. Here's the thing: I go in there. And I talk smack knowing I'm going to get shit on. So there was one where he recently uploaded. He was in New York. He was outside of the Trump Tower.
Yeah.
And he was just talking shit on it. He was just like, oh, this building sucks, or whatever the case. I was like, what color is your building? Right? Referencing the Andrew Tate Bugatti joke.
Yeah.
And then people just got triggered. Yeah. But what I liked is that a lot of people also jumped in there and backed me up on the comment too. At that point, you just let the people speak,
Yeah, I generally do not. I stay out of the comments on everything. I find myself like where I'll get like 3 words in, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I just back it up. I just can't.
A year ago, I would have been way more hesitant, but because I got so involved in speaking about politics during the run, it's like I'm more comfortable with it now.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's like I had so many people unfollow me from Instagram last year. Some people that I even like grew up around.
Yeah.
Like I had what's it called? Close friend. I had this is what happened. Literally like a month or two ago. I wasn't born here, right? I wasn't born here. I came to the country, through application and everything, going through the process, right? And in January, the big thing was immigration. Immigration.
Yeah.
January into February, it was all immigration, deportation. Trump is a piece of shit, whatever it is. And I was like, all right, enough is enough, because people are calling me over here Latino for Trump, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna go on, and I wore my because now for when we do we had 2 segments of the podcast, right? We have the guest interviews, and then we have what used to be Home Team, now it's called Beyond the Headlines, and that's more business casual, right? So I'm in there with my jacket and my button up, and then I have Ecuador and America flag on the pin there, and I go in there. I talk I speak on the whole immigration thing, and purely fact based. Like I was referencing ICE documents. I was referencing like literally all just text. And someone that I grew up around called another friend of mine and was like, "Yo, did you hear what Emilio said on did this, that, and the other?" And it's like, what's wrong with him? And it's like, why didn't you just call me?
Right.
Why did you just call me?
Right.
Right. And I've been talking about this for a while now. I'm surprised I haven't heard back from it about it, but the same person pulled a Selena, right? Now, what's a Selena? You remember when Selena uploaded the video of her crying? She's like, "Oh my God, they're deporting my people!" Oh my God! And then like an hour or two later, she deletes it because the internet completely bashed her.
Right.
He ended up pulling off the same shit. He was in his car. It's always in the fucking car. Yeah. Everybody's always expressing their thoughts in the car.
Yeah.
And he was like, people are now being deported if they come to the country illegally. Yeah, I'm like, this is not fucking news.
Yeah,
this is not fucking news. This has always been the case. And like then I went into there's this thing called the Wayback Machine, right? The Wayback Machine. And then when you go into the I forget exactly what immigration website, it has simply stated that grounds of deportation are if you enter the country illegally, if you're not a citizen and are committing a crime or something, or have committed some sort of crime, or are viewed as a potential threat or something like that. When you go to the Wayback Machine, first off, the most recent page was last updated, I think it was like October of last year. So before even Trump went into office. Yeah. And then I think the oldest one they have record of is I think of like 2018. Says the same thing. Right. So this is nothing new. Yeah. But it's because Trump says it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because Trump says it.
Yeah, I love that. And you see videos where, maybe it was Biden or Nancy Pelosi like saying something today.
Yeah. Or the Obama speech on immigration.
Yeah.
Which is like word for word what we're trying to do now.
Right now.
Yeah. Have you guys gotten any flack if we're talking politics on here?
I wish.
Actually,
you wish.
I wish. Yeah.
We did have the one where we talked about the election right after it happened.
Yeah.
We didn't get shit for that.
Not that I could see.
But what exactly did you guys express?
Well, the whole gist that I wanted to like put forward is just regardless of politics, the Democrats have an optics problem, and I think that was a lot of what I had harped on and what they do wrong. And the biggest thing is that the Democratic Party right now is incredibly fractured, and they keep eating at themselves with these purity tests. We're like, oh, do you support gay people? Do you support trans people?
Yeah.
No, you're a bigot.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Republicans are like, okay, well, I don't really care for that, but you're on our side? Cool.
Yeah, like the Republicans are okay.
I think the words I used was that the Republicans are recruiting and the Democrats are witch hunting, and that drives everyone on the fence to one side.
Well, for me, it's like I voted red, I voted blue, and just one being like verbally involved in politics last year, and then also like being out with friends that are on both sides, Democrats and Republicans. the way I saw some Democrats act like out in public, like for no fucking reason, just like recklessly, I couldn't believe it. Like there was one night where my friends and I were going out. One of my guys is a big Trump guy, so he wore a MAGA hat, right? To mind you, Delaware is a blue state. Mm-hmm. Delaware is a blue state. He wore a MAGA hat. I look at it. I get it. It's resemblance of somebody, right? But at the end of the day, it's a fucking piece of clothing.
Yeah.
Right. I don't see a piece of clothing that someone's wearing and fucking get triggered.
Yeah.
Right. And so what happened was that thankfully I'm cool with the security there. What happened was that we were all hanging out, having drinks, just shooting the shit. And all of a sudden you just feel someone staring at your area.
Glaring
so I turn around. It's like this group of girls. One of them had blue hair. Right.
I'm not gonna say what color the hair was.
So
the hair was blue.
And you just already knew.
Right.
You already knew.
Right.
And hey, you're okay to think fuck that guy.
Right.
Fuck him. You're more than entitled for that. But we're all out at the bar to do one thing. To enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Not to start bullshit. Yeah. Right? It's fucking Friday night. We're sick of work at this point. We're just trying to unwind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, and it's just like one starts and then the other one starts looking too. It's like a group of 4 or 5 girls. And then another one starts looking at us too. And I'm like, oh shit. So I go up to security. I'm like, I'm not going to say his name. Call him Michael. And I tell Mike, I'm like, yo, Mike, so I'm with my one buddy right now that and he's wearing a MAGA hat. I get that's going to piss some people off, but just in case something pops off, this is why. This is why, and this is like they'll start some shit for it. So in case something happens, I don't want them to get kicked out. I just don't want them to be. I'm referring to the girls. Just in case something. I go to the bathroom. Right. You can only rent booze.
Yeah.
I come back. I kid you not. The whole conflict is happening, and they all get kicked out, except one. I guess she went to the bathroom too.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, guys, my one friend is getting triggered. I'm like, bro, don't feed into it. Just let it be. Just let him be.
Yeah.
And I had told my buddy Mike, I was like, I told you not to kick him out, man.
Yeah.
And apparently what he did while I went to the bathroom was go up to my guys, dab him up, and then when he did that, one of the girls said, oh, he's abusing me or something like that.
Oh, no.
For no reason.
Dude.
For no reason. And then that's when it clicked on Mike's head. I was like, oh, yeah, I see what he's talking about now.
Yeah.
So then he ended up kicking them all out, and that's when I walked into that. And then the one girl who stayed in there, she was like, look, we don't want any trouble. Like we're just trying to chill. And she was like, what do you mean? You snitched on us. We literally saw you go up to him. I'm like, look, I told him you guys were looking at us some kind of way. I felt like something was going to pop off, so I just gave him the heads up.
Yeah.
You guys kind of called yourself out by saying that stupid shit.
Yeah. And what do you mean, snitched on? It's like, excuse me? Like, I'm creating a safer environment.
Excuse me, we're fucking adults here, all right? Exactly. We're not in fucking high school anymore.
Yeah.
And so where I was going to with that is like, that kind of behavior, even if you don't have to be involved in politics, but you see one side doing that, it kind of makes you go, I don't want to be associated with that kind of behavior as much.
Oh, you mean firebombing Tesla dealerships?
Yeah. So it's like, I don't understand how that's not a form of protesting is absolutely legal in America, but I don't understand how that's not a form of domestic terrorism.
You know what's funny?
I mean, it probably is.
No, Elon has been calling it that, and the people who are vandalizing Teslas and whatnot, they're getting hit with felonies for this shit.
Okay.
But the left is making fun of this whole situation, destroying my cause is terrorism. It's like, do you know what domestic terrorism is?
Yeah.
It's kind of the textbook example of that.
What is it that everybody swears into? Like once they serve, what's it called in government? They're like, you swear to protect whatever it is for all domestic and international
from all threats, domestic and
yeah. So it's like no, it's like this. I don't know. It's just so fucking stupid, dude. And I hate to say this, man, but it's like you could just tell. The moment you look at these people, you could just tell. It's like they have specific textures to them, or like.
Interesting way of putting it.
I'll say, I think I can read between the lines. I would say, yeah, you can tell that the ones that want to make the waves are not put together.
Yeah.
Well, no, the ones that want to make the
people
wave
that have a complete
have a sense of fashion that makes waves. The way they present themselves. Like,
wave the other way, bro.
Yeah, but even more than that, like I feel like anybody who actually would care that much about like your Trump hat has got insecurities that are like far deeper than their political being. You know what I mean? Like like if any of us were to see any other like political like thing, whether it was good or bad, it would be like,
if I see something political I disagree with, it's kind of in my head, I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid, and that's the end of it.
At its very least. And like it doesn't even like phase me. Like to me, I'm like, well, you can wear that, why not?
I think what I've learned to accept is that there's no ends to it.
Right.
There's no ends to it. Like this shit is exhausting. Even reporters are coming out saying that they're tired. They're tired. Well, you know what, the media hates Trump. That man do their numbers look good. When he's around, it's like it's like they'll be like, I fucking hate that guy. Meanwhile, they're like counting. Tweet. It's like it's so stupid. So stupid.
And no one likes being shown the light. So like anyone who is wrong, or even if you're just trying to explain to them like hey, like this is why I believe something, like even if it makes sense, it's like well, you know what else? And what about? And then it's like one's really going over.
The
the
key
actual
is from like
issue.
a psychology standpoint is you need to make them think it was their idea for them to accept it.
For sure.
So that's just called gaslighting.
There can be positive gaslighting.
There you go.
Yeah.
But no, like it's a psychology thing. If you are flat out told you're wrong, you're immediately going to become defensive. If you come up against someone smart enough to make you think it was your idea, you don't even know. It's like, oh yeah, no. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Which is like the whole Doge thing, which you brought up earlier. It's like, and people are upset about it. We're like, wait a minute, like saving tax dollars?
I just saw something actually that was, I haven't verified. I want to preface that I haven't dug into it to verify it, but there was
Cut that part out.
Yeah.
Cut him saying that. Cutting him the disclosure.
So go on with all the facts you have.
Absolutely 100% guaranteed.
Yeah.
So they found that I think it was $60 billion. It was like 10% of our annual budget. Like a ridiculous number was going out as fraudulent Social Security payments and Medicare and Medicaid. And then the guy who was like presenting, he was actually really slick with it. He was like, here's the kicker: this wasn't found by Doge. For all you people who don't believe anything Doge is putting out, this was found by the Government Accountability Office. 10%. They started this audit 2 years ago. 10% of our national budget's being wasted in fraudulent Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid payments. And that's just those three things. What about the entire budget? So if Doge wants to go in with a chainsaw and start hacking shit, like personally, I'm like, we need to cut something big time.
It's funny you say chainsaw because that's literally
that's actually funny.
Well, no, because
that was on purpose. That was because the Argentinian president.
Yes.
He
Malay.
did the thing with his golden chainsaw, then he gifted one to Elon Musk.
Yep. So it's interesting because the right people, to each their own opinion, but what's it called? It's the people are meeting. Malay, Bukele, the president of El Salvador, and Trump. It's like these guys. I mean, look at what Bukele did for his country, man. He turned it into one of the most dangerous places on earth to one of the most safest one. What almost appears to be
so
overnight.
So many people were telling him like this country's going to go bankrupt. It's going to hyperinflation. It's going to fail.
Yeah. And it's arguably safer than ours now.
They're doing like pretty damn good right now.
Yeah, I remember him. I remember like peeping him like it was like a year ago, and I saw that one interview with him and Tucker Carlson, and I'm like, this guy is great. I remember the first question Tucker Carlson asked him. I think it was something in the lines of was like, why are you doing this? Like, because that was at the time where they were arresting people like crazy. Yeah. And even if you just looked like you might have been associated by like with some gang, you would get arrested. And he's like, why are you doing this? And then he said something about Jesus Christ or something about God. But it's like when a person answers with faith first, there's already a personality attached with that. But then second of all he was like, why not? He was like, why not? We're keeping our people safe. And look, the proof is there. But no, people want to argue with El Salvador. It's like, oh, but he's arresting innocent people. He's arresting innocent people. That happens sometimes. But every person that's getting arrested is going through some sort of court procedure after the fact. And if they're found innocent, they're getting compensation for the government's fuck up. So the U.S. is used to being innocent to proven guilty, where in their scenario you're guilty until proven innocent. So it's backwards from what we're used to. But look at the outcome.
Well, I mean, if you
look at the outcome,
if you see some of those court horror stories, you kind of question if we're genuinely innocent until proven guilty.
Right, right. And here's the other thing too: speed. I show speed, right? Western propaganda talks so much shit on countries like China. Speed has been on tour in China now for a few weeks, and he does like the live streams where he's out exploring different countries and everything. China looks beautiful, man. It looks amazing. Like it doesn't look like anything at all how it is that we're advertising it. So it's just like we can't be blind to like what our government is feeding us and then what we're seeing. It's like we just got to keep an open mind with all these things. Because one of the things that's being argued is that from an outside perspective from different countries, they're saying that America right now we're saying that we're keeping people from our country. But they're saying there's another point of view of it. It's like we're just not letting our people. We're entrapping our people.
Yeah.
We're in terms of like media and everything like that. So it's very complicated, but it's interesting when you start hearing what other people start thinking of us from other countries.
Yeah, and in which country that I don't know of any that have open borders.
Yeah. No.
So it's like it's not like it's like everyone else is open.
Yeah.
It's like
the same thing with the visa. With the visa, the $5 million visa, a bunch of other countries have that where you could buy into being a citizen. Mm-hmm. Like this is nothing new. It's just people just want to.
It's bad when we do it, specifically when Trump does it.
Yeah, it's bad when Trump does it. Anybody else,
Yeah, and just between parties themselves, like I wish that people could look at politicians and just politics in general, like outside the party lines.
Yeah,
and because if. Like we talked about Republicans being a little bit better about that, but even then, if you're a Republican, it's like you can't leave the party.
Yeah.
You can't leave the party ideology. And the same thing happening with Democrats, where it's like
just to a higher degree, I think.
Probably, yeah, for sure.
Here's what I've seen. Democrats, if you don't go word for word for what their agenda is, they will eat you alive.
That's what I mean by the purity test.
They will eat you alive. They will eat you alive, and I just don't get that. I don't. It's just extreme.
And anybody being that sure about themselves and like that like strict to what they believe in, like of course it backfires.
Yeah,
it always backfires.
I've always and this goes beyond just politics, but like anytime I see someone that's like hyper fixated and hyper loyal on any one thing, whether it be a celebrity, like obsessed with like Taylor Swift or something like that, or obsessed with their political party.
Shout out Taylor Swift.
Or in my particular like interest group, obsessed with like one brand of car to the point where like they don't even look at anything else. I always find that off-putting and kind of unhealthy.
Yeah.
Like you're missing out on so much more that the world has to offer because you've narrowed your field of view to just this one thing.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, a lot of these people that we're arguing over are shaking hands behind doors.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So it's like, they're still getting stupid fucking rich either way. So why are we, sacrificing our sanity for people that are shaking hands behind doors?
Right.
It's just stupid. Like, I remember what was the one president that just died? That he was like almost 100 years old.
John McCain.
No.
Is that Carter?
Yes, Carter. Like when close enough. When Carter passed, and they had the funeral, and it was televised.
I know where you're going with this.
And everybody was sitting. They had all the presidents and everything. The one thing I noticed is, when Obama was there too, where the hell was Michelle? Michelle willingly chose to not go. Did we ever find out about that?
I missed that because I saw Trump and Obama just kind of like cutting it up and laughing and smiling with each other.
Yeah, so it's like, where the hell is Michelle? Where has Michelle been? What Obama? I mean, the Obamas, they stepped up like towards the end of the Kamala thing, and they were voicing the hell out of their support for Kamala. Yeah, as well as especially Michelle. Then after the election happened, it completely fell off the face of the earth.
She's been busy directing movies.
And then here's what I don't like. She starts smack talking Obama. I mean, her husband. She starts saying, I was like, you know what, her podcast, like, it's almost what's Will Smith's wife?
Oh.
What's her name again? Jada?
Oh yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah. It's like she's pulling. It's reminding me of that Red Table shit.
Right.
With Michelle right now. It's like she's obviously she's not saying fuck that guy, or no she's not saying that, but she's making comments that maybe you shouldn't make about your husband out in public like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, nah, this ain't cool, man. It's like, if you're gonna talk shit on your husband, who are you not gonna talk shit on?
Right.
So, and like for one, there was one video where they were talking about the pardoning of the turkey, when they were all there and the daughters were way younger. And, everybody looks happy or whatever the case is. Michelle came out and said, she was like, the kids would hate it. They did not want to be there. It's like they just wanted to be in their own thing. Then they hated every single little bit. I'm like, why are you going on and saying this? Like, It's like, no, why are you trying to put that kind of light on? It's just, I don't get these people, man.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah,
it never ends. It never ends. You could go in so many different directions with this. So I don't blame you for it's like, oh shit, what the fuck did I say now? So it's like it's exhausting. It's exhausting, dude. It's exhausting.
It is.
It's funny. We started as like a general purpose podcast, but talking about everything that kept going on in the world was like getting depressing.
Yeah.
So we were like, we're gonna talk about cars a lot, and that's gonna make us happy.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing since then. Because it would like, we're talking before we started the podcast, we would come down here and like we would just kind of chit chat about the world and like kind of go over things that we've seen and like pick a couple, and then it's already kind of a depressing note because you're like, well, this is, and then you get to the end and like, well, what do we do, man? Like this is kind of fucked up, huh? And there's like, well, that's our time, folks, and that'll be the end. And it's like,
here's the thing, unless we plan on being okay, so my stance on it is I approach this from a journalist standpoint, right? My goal is to inform, not persuade. First inform, and then I give my opinions, right? So this is our format of the Beyond the Headlines format that we have on the podcast. What we do is we pick headlines that we want to dive into, and then we go into beyond the context of what's in the article or in the headline itself, because sometimes the information is manipulated, so we want to make sure all our checks and balances are in place, so we go into that. So I try to take a journalist approach to it. It's hard to sometimes because you're like, what the fuck? But that's my stance on it. I'm not trying to be a politician. I'm not trying to be any sort of politic in Delaware or anything like that. I can't be president. I wasn't born here. So that's where I understand that, and I know that once I'm off the camera, it's like I'm disconnecting from it, right? And politics are important to talk about, but I'm not politics.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like we have our own identities, our whole lives outside of this. It's not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it is. Obviously, it's important. It is about your life. It's gonna affect you, in some way. There's some things, so like to pay attention to it for sure.
Yeah.
But it felt like for a little while that I had to like find out stuff. I had to like start looking into stuff because it was like,
it's never ending.
Yeah. And then, like it did kind of like, it was like kind of energetic between the two of us, when we were down here, especially like we would just kind of get talking about stuff where like, it makes for good conversation.
Yeah.
Because like it can be,
it's good content.
Hot topics.
It's good content. It's good content. But I mean, as long as you're willing to get
bummed out,
that, and as long as you're willing to have people talk shit on you, that's absolutely. That's fine.
And that's that's what it takes to kind of grow. Is almost, and I hate to be like, well, you have to just be viral, you have to just like say outlandish shit. But the more people want to engage and talk,
but as long
as it's bad,
as long as at least in my opinion, as long as it's not at the risk of your integrity of your guys' podcast, like how far are you willing to go for views, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? It's like our goal is just to create. We have no control over how many people see it, like in terms of like whether or not it's gonna take off or not. We just see what works and what doesn't, and our goal is just to deliver the best piece of content we can.
Yeah.
And because we don't focus on views, we focus on quality.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we focus on, and I'm not willing to be like this guy Harry, and like just yapping and yapping and yapping. He's like in between classes yapping, in his car yapping. It's like, dude, shut up.
That's what I'm saying. Like I cannot imagine like having grown up with this like intense of social media just at your fingertips. It's so jading.
And you know what's the other thing with TikTok? Yeah. With TikTok, right? It was supposed to, I think, get shut off, I think, on Friday if no one like came to a deal, but Trump just extended it by I think like 75 days, 74 days. No, none of these woke kids, liberals are talking about, oh, we get to keep TikTok because that's what these guys blow up, TikTok. Yeah. No one's saying that. No one's saying that. Hey, Trump just bought you another 75 days. No one's saying that. Where's the media with that? We might hear about it on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah. But where are you guys now?
No, they're too busy. They're too busy.
Yeah, they're too busy fucking licking their own asshole, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot.
And I think liquor might help.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, guys, don't wait on me. Jeez, we've been running for an hour already?
Yeah.
Holy. See, you guys have a thing. I don't know how you guys do this. Like, I think my hour goes by fast. Your guys' hour goes even faster.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they always end up being like 4 hours.
So this is more like you just like do it neat. Neat, and then just kind of like, enjoy it. That is, I don't know how you guys typically do. What is it, scotch?
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it. Do you typically guys do it with ice, neat? How do you guys do it?
We usually go neat. We're a neat family.
All right, I'll do neat with you guys.
But I have ice.
I'm good with neat. Alexis, do you want any?
Yeah,
do you have a fourth glass, bitches?
Fourth cup.
There you go. Boop, boop. Cigars last night, scotch today.
Yeah. Living, dude.
Alcoholics, man.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm going to try to drink less than I did last week.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Until you have no balance.
No, last week was... I drank too much on the podcast, and I had to stay here till like 9 o'clock sober up.
Yeah, we're just hanging
tough. See, that's why when I take my car anywhere, I have a inflatable bed in the trunk.
Funny.
Just in case. You never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah. That's funny.
Does that still run afoul of some of the DUI, like drunk driving laws? Because there's some states where, like, if you even have the key in the car, that's enough.
Oh, well, I'm not driving when I'm drinking. I'm drinking and then I'm driving.
Well, no, like, literally, people have gotten a DUI while sitting in the backseat of their car, but they had the keys, like, in the ignition or in their pocket.
Yeah.
But they're in the backseat just trying to, like, sleep it off. But because they're in the car with the key, that counts as intent.
Yeah.
I don't know what Delaware's... I don't even know what PA's laws are, but...
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm not positive.
There you go. All right, guys, if it tastes like poop, don't blame me. Hopefully it doesn't.
And so what is... we have Alexander Murphy and Co.
Murray?
Alexander
Murray.
Or Murray. Murray.
Come on, can't you read calligraphy?
Single... Scotland.
All right, now.
Yeah, that's for you guys to keep.
Yeah,
well, as long as you guys like it, of course.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, and honestly, my friend who was just on was telling us like we should keep all the cool bottles. And so far, we just drink Monkey Shoulder.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers, man. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
I have water and tea, not coffee with me here. Can I give you this?
Yeah, and I have water as well. I have water, I have sodas and stuff.
Yeah, drugs.
Yeah.
What's pretty good.
Pull a Theo Von.
It's really
you
good.
Got drugs.
What's that movie where he's like,
I love Theo Von.
I got you to make your dick hard, make your dick soft.
What?
Yeah, he's got like
wait.
uppers, downers, doozies, make it go to bed, make it stay up for a week.
Man.
Damn, what is it? It's John Cena. It's John Cena, isn't it?
Oh, was it when he got hired to be was that one movie where he got hired to be an actor for a wedding? For that one friend that never existed?
I think yeah.
The one where he wore a fucking dress?
It was older than that. I think like he just does like it's almost like a cameo where he just plays the drug dealer in that one scene, and like they're trying to buy drugs and he's like he's got so many different drugs.
Damn, it's crazy. It's been an hour already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sisters.
Yeah. That's a different movie.
Yeah.
That's 2015. Holy crap!
Don't think about it.
Yeah,
I
thought that
10
it was
years
old.
ago.
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
10 years is nuts.
Damn, he got that reacher builder. Can you guys play this? Like,
I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting our first copyright strike.
Yeah. I think as long as we keep talking over it, it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's like sort of like Scars. You know, it's like you can turn it up.
I mean, you gotta have a friend like that.
Birth control.
Birth? What the fuck? Damn. Flintstone gummies.
That's good.
Wow.
We're good here. You can pause it.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway,
But you know what? You gotta have friends like that, man.
Yeah.
Because look, the way he's like that with his work, he's like that with his body.
Right.
You know, and it just carries on to everything else you do.
It's clearly work ethic. That's great.
Yeah. Dude, and she's probably sick of hearing me say this at this point. I'm strictly of the mindset of how I do anything is how I do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just true, man. Because if it's a reflection of my work or me or an extension of me, like I want it to be the best it can be.
Yeah.
Now, it is an exhausting mindset because you can't just like it carries on to things that you really it's like you should chill the fuck out, you know, guy.
Yeah.
Chill out, buddy.
Yeah, the podcast is the newest one for me. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go 100%. Like as soon as I made the decision that we were gonna do this, I bought it.
You guys are putting out a shit ton of content. Like you guys are right now. I think it's like 405 videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
All the clips and the
Yeah, and then we're only at 455. So you guys are like right behind us. But it's like, fuck, you guys are really up in your shit.
Yeah, I think last time you were on, I said we were coming for you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the thing is like, and it all takes a long time. Like for example. We like I said, we have two segments: Beyond the Headlines and the guest episodes. The guest episodes have 5 short clips and obviously the long format episode. And then the Beyond the Headlines episodes have the long format video on YouTube, and then it has 10 short clips, 9 to 10 short clips that get distributed across different platforms. So and we've done I don't even know how many at this point. And on average, each short clip takes about an hour to an hour and a half to make. So when you start doing the math on it. You know, it's like you're easily at almost 1,000 hours of like editing, production, distribution, and all that kind of crap. It's exhausting. It's exhausting, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
There was that, I forget who said it.
What do you guys think, by the way?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
Love it. Good smell.
But I don't know if they were like a personal trainer or whatever, but it's just, you know, you have the same 24 hours in the day as Oprah.
Was it Hormozy?
Or I don't know. But you got the same 24 hours as like Oprah or Beyonce or whatever. And it's like, no, I really don't actually. 10 of those is for work. And then another like 8 of those,
That's
7,
true.
6.
It's 6.
5
Yeah.
is for
Yeah.
sleeping. And then you got, like another 8 hours maybe to do everything from content, if that's what you're getting into, or I don't know, just keeping your life together.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Well, that's the thing, right? And that's why a lot of people don't last because they can't keep up with the heat.
Honestly, most of that's his credit.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's and it's tough. It's tough, but it's the work that people don't see behind the scenes that really it makes you an overnight success, quote unquote.
Right. Yeah.
Like
That's a long night.
Yeah. Like our podcast when it first started, like our simple goal was just 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Not well, obviously not simple 100 episodes, but like that was the only focus, 100 episodes, and then to make it a little better every time. We just recently like I don't know what happened. I just woke up like during the holidays last November, and I just started looking through cameras and equipment and all that shit. Next thing you know, she comes out of her room, and then I just told her, I was like, hey, I just spent a few $1,000s on equipment. She's like, what? And yeah, like, so we, like, but it took us, you know, as long as it did, it took us almost 60 episodes to get to that point. But it's just, it's tough. It's tough. It takes a long time, and all the hours add up, and it's definitely stressful. But you know what? it's rewarding when the reward comes.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure right now I could probably share the sentiment with you about how you probably feel like you're fucking tired. Like when is this shit gonna take off? Like when am I gonna see something?
Yeah.
But like for you, you guys probably like felt really good when you guys got that 1 million view video.
Yeah.
So which is fucking awesome. That's the
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
But it's like when is the next one gonna come?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, when
Yeah.
is the next one?
Yeah,
Right?
and which is the at which point is it like our break? It's like
You never know.
And then obviously if you're anything like me, then like I think in my head I'm like, cool, we got the 1 million views, like the overnight success, boom, it's there, but like the rest of the success did not come with it. So I'm like, oh, okay, like it just sucks.
Yeah.
we just suck at this. Like no one likes it, and so then you go down that
to
path.
To be fair,
then,
that clip that went viral, I think went viral because a lot of people thought.
well, look, it doesn't matter either way. Like someone finding it, then like now if I found it and I'm like, wow, this all the views on this.
Yeah.
Oh wow, or I agree or disagree. I would go click on the page and see what's up and probably subscribe. So
Yeah.
like when I think about what I would do, and then the fact that like that's not what happened, I'm like, oh okay, like it sucks. Like it sucks. We're terrible at this. Like we're shit.
Yeah.
And so like it's hard to like go down that route, especially like you're just talking about all the time and all the work. And again, like we did do this because it was fun, and it certainly has been. It's brought Adrian and I together. I've learned a lot. Adrian probably learned something, as being as smart as he is, but it's done a lot,
Yeah.
And I think like an overall net positive.
Yeah.
But you can't take away from the fact that it is a ton of
It
work,
is. It is.
And there's you had mentioned like where like you buy a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, Holly, I just bought a lot of stuff.
Right,
You know,
right,
I think
right.
we're gonna skip going out this weekend,
Right.
and it's like she's
Right.
like, well, what the fuck, dude? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, are you making money off of this? I'm
Yeah.
like, well, it will, but
Yeah.
it should, and it could.
Well,
and,
here,
but, like,
this is great. This is great that you brought that up. Pull up a separate tab and then pull up Alex Hormozy entrepreneurial life cycle. Hormozy, and then yep, and then click images, and then click that second picture. This is a great picture. One of the best pictures.
This
Best
looks
picture
a lot
I've
like
seen
the
of all
Dunning-Kruger.
time. So here's what he says, right? This is the entrepreneurial life cycle for Hormozy, and then you could put this into anything you start up in your life. First you get the idea of, let's use the podcast as an example. First you get the idea of, oh, let's start a podcast, right? So it's like the honeymoon phase. It's like, this is exciting, let's do this. Oh my God, how are we gonna set up the background? Let's do all this. And then boom, and it's like now you're at stage 2 of the informed pessimism. It's like, wait, this is a little tougher than I originally expected, right?
Yeah.
No, and now you're at your 405th video, and now we're at boom, crisis of meaning. The output, the input is not necessarily equating to the output. Should I do this? Should I continue to do this or not? And then this is what separates the people that get somewhere versus don't. Now, you see 3 and 4 and 5. So if 4 crash and burn, that's when people decide, all right, I'm done with this. I'm not seeing anything out of it. I'm done with it. And that's where 95% of people end up. And then the cycle repeats for them. Whereas if you get to informed optimism, like you see, like you're able to track, like you're able to see like, oh, okay, we got our 1 million views. What made that work? Are we able to replicate that to some extent? Oh, now we got a 100,000 one. Oh, we did it twice. Oh, we got now I'm informed.
Yep.
Now I'm optimistic again a little bit. And then boom, you reach achievement. Now you have a formula.
This just looks like the finance and entrepreneurial version of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
I think I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
So replace this with just like unearned confidence or uninformed confidence.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom here is the pit of despair. It's where you learn how much you don't know about something.
Yeah.
And then back up is where,
Then that's probably an influence of this. That's probably an influence of this. Because the same guy, Alex Hormozy, he has another saying that I really, really like about confidence. Oh, what is this? Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, that's literally, and it makes sense. It makes sense that that's related to that, because he has one saying that about confidence. He says, confidence is not you yelling affirmations in front of a mirror. Yeah. Confidence is building an undeniable stack of proof that shows that you are who you say you are.
Yeah.
Right, and that relates to that. Now go back to the one we pulled up. Now here's where it really gets tough, and this is currently where I'm at right now in the stage of the podcast. Now, it's one thing for you to be aware of this. When you have a team or working with more than one person, you have to sell that to them. Because let's say that we're at 5. Let's say that I'm at 5. My team is going to be at 3. Right? My team is going to be at 3. So not only do I have to sell it to myself, like, it's like, fuck, man. It's like, no, I'm seeing it. I have to also sell them on it. So because that's part of what being a leader is, right? Is selling the vision and then be able to provide some sort of proof that vision is coming to fruition.
Yeah.
Like I had,
I'd say it's a huge part.
It's hard. Key. It's very, very hard. It's very, very hard. And those are really character defining moments. Like for example, like I had one person in my team, kind of, how do I word this? Kind of ask about sales for our website. It's like, what's going on with sales, man? It's like, so here's the thing. Sales weren't that great, and I was like, I get where you're coming from. Not paraphrasing here. It's like, but the problem is that we're not focusing on sales. Yes, we have a great foundations for sales. We have a way people could buy from us, but we're not pushing it, and that's why sales are bad.
Yeah.
I 90% of my time is stuck in production, so I'm only able to give 10% to sales, which is why sales haven't been doing anything. And so, first off, you get that from your teammate. The way he worded it too was, it almost comes off as offensive. I'm like, well, what are you contributing to sales, right?
Yeah.
But I can't react to that, right? It's like, I got to take it in and then find a way. How can I get you to believe this? And then by the end of that same month, where we had that conversation, we closed our first contract for sponsorship.
Wow.
So it's providing it. So in this specific example, he was at crisis of meaning in that conversation for sales, and then I got a contract, and then boom, now he's maybe a little bit at 4.5 or 3.5.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you drive your team to buy into that vision?
Yeah.
Because not most people aren't, and you're gonna lose people along the way. Like, I don't know what your guys' dynamic is, but like, I'm not saying this is gonna happen, because you guys grew up together.
Right.
You guys grew up together, but it's like, I have seen a disconnect from the people I started this with and where I'm at now, which is fine, because sometimes people grow apart and they're going separate directions.
Right.
And their commitment then is probably not the commitment that it takes now.
Yeah.
So as long as you're aware of that, it's tough. It's make or break for sure.
Yeah. And also like website stuff, like I think that there are also, just like most things, there's a proof of concept that has to happen first.
Yeah.
Because like if you're actually ready to like for sales and sponsorships, and like now it's at your door, and you're like, well, fucking quick, make a website.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of want to have like worked a lot of that out, and like the bugs, which I don't know what the word, but like if it's Shopify or whatever, curator,
We use Shopify.
yeah, whatever it is, do I like them more?
Yeah.
Like, does what I'm trying to do work well with this software, and like how that website is, or is this website functional enough? Like, do we have a good enough process?
Am I prepared for success?
Yeah. Like, should I do it myself?
Yeah. But that's I want to point out is you're asking the questions.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That's the only way you find out.
Right.
And as you guys said, you guys are hands-on learner.
Yeah.
So it's trial and error. It's trial and error, and that's the only way you're going to find out. Like for us, all those specific things you mentioned website. I had no fucking clue what to do with a website. Right. I mean, I had some experience with Wix. That was initially where we had a podcast website.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, everybody's on Shopify. Everybody and their mom is on Shopify. Man. So let me go to Shopify, see how better it is. I have an idea of what it is that I want. I know she's good at websites, so I'll sell her what I envision, but I'll let her paint the picture, right? So she's now working on all of that, and then it's how do we make it better over time? Like if you go to our website, one thing that just recently helped us at eppodcast.us, and you guys are in it too, actually.
What?
Yeah.
Hear that, Mom?
It literally went to effect the same day you guys changed your logo, by the way.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, literally the same day. So scroll all the way down.
Too,
Go all the way down. Yep. all the way down. So okay, so brands we work with, we added.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, we literally the same day that you guys changed your logo, because I remember going into it at the beginning of the day, having you guys' old logo, and then I went back into your Instagram page, and now the logo had changed. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I like the new logo, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what inspired the change in that?
I don't know. We were talking about I don't know. We were just talking about it, and I said LIR instead of LP. LRP, and Keith's like, that rolls off the tongue better.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Typically, anything that's three letters, like it just works great. People like three. So yeah, and the reason why we wanted to add this was, well, and here's the thing: if you click on your guys' logo, it goes to you guys.
Sick. Well, I appreciate
way.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No, I'm more than happy to do that. So
Yeah.
it's like, when people go to our website now, they're like, "Oh shit, they've worked with all these people." And also,
Right.
Tom's Refurb is there. I know you guys like Tom's Refurb.
Okay.
It's funny. He's close enough that whenever he sells any of his project cars on like Facebook, I see them come up.
Yeah.
For sale.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I bumped into him at the bar a couple nights ago. What's it called? So yeah, so now people are able to see, oh, this guy has worked with all of them. You know, it serves as a funnel for like the teams we work with.
Yeah.
But also like it gives proof of concept for us.
Yeah.
You know, because then right below that, what am I saying? Work with us. Boom, you could click it, and now we're all of a sudden connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And but those are
There you go.
those
Yeah.
are all the
Yeah.
things that we look. There's two differences, right? You work in the business, but you also work on the business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's finding the time to figure out how you want to split your time in terms of both, right? Because production and recording, that's great and all, but that does not equate to money.
Right.
That does not equate to money. A year ago, I had drafted along with my co-host what it would look like for us to have a contract for when we work with people, like and broken down into sections all the way from legality standpoint, what exactly that would look like, and then a year later it goes into effect, right? But it's like if we didn't set ourselves up for that position of strength, in a position of strength, then we would have been able to capitalize on it. So it's building these systems over time. Someone in a negative way said to me the other day, it was like, "You're running this like a business." I'm thinking to myself, no shit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right?
That's the goal.
Right? It's if it's gonna go anywhere, I need to treat it as such.
Yeah.
You know, I need to behave today like where I want to end up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So like, even guys, like there's a science to all of this. Like all of our guests now, every single guest that we bring on that we haven't already met, we take them out to lunch. There's a 3-month process between the moment we meet to the moment we put out, if not longer.
Well, we've already had lunch, so.
Yeah. yeah. No, I already knew you guys. So it's like, so we take them out to lunch to our local local area bar restaurant, and then we eat with them, and then we get to know them. We feel like the purpose of that is so we break the ice there, because we don't want to be half hour into the recording, and now we're finally getting comfortable, right? We want to get that out of the way, and then figure out, because then also at that point I could know whether or not I want this guy on the podcast or girl. Right. So we have that system in place, and then it's just we're meeting. This is what our format is, right? 3 episodes a month. Our quota is we record 3 episodes, we upload 3 episodes a month. It's 2 episodes of guest interviews, 1 episode of Beyond the Headlines, or the other way around, right? Also, that's just from a content standpoint. From a relationship standpoint, we're meeting 2 new people every month. We're taking out 2 people to lunch every month, so that way we always have that relationship. And here's the thing: we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, and public figures. Anytime you meet one of these guys, they know someone else that's also that too. So anytime we meet and we take them out to lunch and we record and we give them the undeniable hospitality that we always try to, from the moment we meet them to the moment we finish recording, and beyond that, they end up connecting us to someone else. So
It's networking.
Yeah, it's literally networking, but it's doing it strategically and like with intent. So we do that 3 recordings a month, 2 people a month. And then also we're trying to build into now the sales aspect to it. Is how do we get in contact with more people we could do sponsorships with. Like when we bring in these business owners, we now do like banners for them, like that pop up like during the video. Right. It's like a quick promo. It's like they slide up, and all of a sudden you can scan a QR code that takes you to their business. Wow. Right. And we do that. And then after the recording, we're like, hey, so, and by the way, in the future, like, would you be interested in like doing marketing with us? Because that's what we are. We're a marketing company. Right. We're a marketing company because that's what we do. And that's just how we bring in the revenue. Now, the other thing I've been experimenting with just my personal name is Instagram funnels. Building Instagram story funnels. I don't know if you guys seen me post the whole, I started this and I did this and this is like, what I could do for you, right? I've implemented something called ManyChat. You guys might have heard of it before. Like, you ever seen the stories where it's like, type this word and I'll send you this, like on someone's story or anything like that? You guys haven't seen it?
Like that,
yeah. So like, I built a series of stories now where I have a hook, I have a proof of concept, I have what I'm offering, and then I have the call to action. Type podcast, and I'll work with you on this. So what ManyChat does is the moment they type podcast, they automatically get a response. So it's automating your DMs. Yep. It's automating, and that builds a funnel, and that builds that brings in the whole pool of interest. So those become leads, and now it's just a matter of my actions to turn those leads into potential sales.
Now you're using that software to automate, but I've seen it go wrong in the comments where like someone will say like,
people troll with it too.
Yeah, they'll shit on it and be like, oh yeah, thanks for reaching out. I'll send you a DM.
It's
just like. Yeah, it's definitely an AI bot.
Like, there's this one guy I think that he promotes not doing alcohol, but doing hallucinogens or something like that for better like clarity and mental health or something like that, to open your third eye. Or the case is like type this and I'll send you a recipe of how I did this, and then he would respond. It's like yeah, I'll send it to you right now, and then someone would comment, oh, hey, can you let me know where I could find 3 children I could abduct and sell? And then the automated comment will be like, yeah, I'll send it to you right now. So I totally see what you're talking about. But the thing is, what I love about it is that it doesn't just bring in leads. It brings in interested leads. Because you could be cold outreaching to 100, 200, 300 people. But if they're not interested, it's just fucking nothing.
Yeah, now you've got interested parties engaging you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. They're coming to you. So that's a great thing. But you could even put it to where what's it called? If they want a document from you, it'll ask them to follow you, and it'll somehow pick up that the person follows you, and then it'll follow up automatically with the document they wanted. So it also boosts your followings and all that kind of stuff. Now it comes at a price. I think it's like $19 a month, but it's for what it could bring you. That when I just implemented it literally last month, and of the $19, that's already came back to me like twofold, threefold, not even more. So it's just like it's amazing. But that was strictly on working on the business. Yeah. So and that's the only way you can do that. So like I know you guys are talking about monetizing. Like there's ways to do it, even with a low subscriber count or low review count. It's just what are you doing to provide someone a service? Is figuring that out.
And that is certainly the hard part. And obviously, Adrian and I we don't have a ton of time,
Yeah.
So we talked about how much time just doing this in general takes. And yeah, so like trying to drum up other services that make us even look more like we would want more people to come on, or what other services you can provide. You know what I mean? Like that we haven't even had a conversation about it, because it's like we're just hanging in, we're just hanging on.
Yeah. Do you guys have a goal do you guys have like a number of podcasts you guys try to record a month?
Just once a week.
So
so
you guys are aiming to record more podcasts than we are.
Yeah.
I
think we're backing down a little bit from that just to free up some breathing room.
Yeah, but if I may give some unsolicited advice, it's like maybe scratch back on one of those recording nights and just call it a strategy meeting. You guys have a couple drinks and then specifically work on.
We were thinking about going down to 2 a month, where because we did want to branch a bit beyond just like podcasting. We want to do like vlog type videos, because me and Keith are both car enthusiasts.
Right.
He's got that thing sitting right over there, and it would be cool to just record videos of us working on them.
Yeah.
I've got a project car, an old like 1929 Model A that I'm trying to build up.
Yeah.
So if we cut back the number of recorded podcasts down to 2 and use like one of those 3 weeks to just record a video of doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And like the big take from that as well, that like, if it was entertaining, they're also just by virtue going to be shorter. That was going to kind of fall into a better algorithm on YouTube, instead of like
I think the
who's
ideal...
watching a 3-hour, like
Right.
not that many.
Most people don't watch podcasts.
Right,
They listen to them.
Yeah.
But you still want to stick with video because
course,
it's the people. Like personally, I'm watching podcasts. I have podcasts on all day long. I also work from home.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I don't think I see my Instagram story. I have 2 monitors. Three monitors. Is it 3? Shit, I don't even remember my own setup. So I have a regular monitor, and then I have one that goes like this. It's just better to read emails that way for me. And then I have 2 tablets. One is displaying my security cameras, and the other one's displaying like a podcast I got playing in the background.
Yeah.
And my laptop. So I have like 5 screens in total, like running at all times. So it's like, and then I just listen to them. But I like being able to look at it.
Yeah.
When I can. So that's why I always tell people. I never tell people sit there and watch it. Yeah. I tell people, hey, just have it play while you're working, or when you're on your way or something, to something. Like
That's
I
one
do
thing
that
that we
as
talked
well.
about from the beginning, though, was like we could do an audio only podcast. That'd be significantly easier and cheaper. But I feel like that. The audio-only podcasts are never the ones that
I wouldn't recommend it.
That take off. Like,
I wouldn't
they
recommend
don't have as high a chance of success.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do the same thing where, like, when I'm here and, like, I have emails and things that I sit in front of my computer at home and do, and I do the same thing. I just prop up my phone, and whether it's, just, like, a vlogging video or if it is a podcast, like, if I wouldn't just listen to the podcast, it's like, well, there's a video, so, like, just...
Right.
And then,
literally,
like, when those little things pop up and
they catch your attention.
They're like, hey, so have you seen this? And they're like, here, put that up on the screen. And I'm like, ooh, where's my phone? And I'm like, what is it? And I want to see it. So like, the video, I agree. And like you just to kind of piggyback on what Adrian was saying is that like at the beginning we were like, we have to do a video.
And the other easy thing that I will tell you guys could do is what channel out there is doing what you guys want to be doing, and just mirror that.
Yeah.
Just mirror that.
Yeah.
You don't got to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
just make it your own after a while.
The issue with that is, again, it comes down to time.
Yeah.
Because there are tons of it, especially you like watching like Jimmy Oaks, where he's like just messing around in the garage, working on the car, building it. We might get a couple hours a week to do something like that. So that's why we're also like, okay, maybe we back down on the number of recordings and podcasts and dedicate a weekend to just physically working on these cars while have the cameras rolling and all that.
Yeah.
And the hard part is that like it's cars. They're just inherently expensive, big, difficult, weather permitting. Like you need space, you need like all the parts are expensive,
and they take time to get to you.
So
nobody likes watching a video where they're like, okay, we got halfway through the project. Like everything, of course, from like the TikTok brain, it's like they want to see completed.
Yeah.
Like you have to like have all of these things and do a video that's complete. It's kind of a bummer.
So help me understand this. So like I told you guys, right? Like we have 2 segments, and then we have the target audience.
Yeah.
Are you guys able to tell me like what exactly who's your target audience? Like what's your guys' like segment? Like what do you guys have a format in place?
For like doing
so if I were to ask you what's Leave It Running podcast, what would you tell me?
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, so like target on it. I mean, I would say like people our age,
Okay.
And like now that we've shifted towards cars and like we're not doing as much like current events because like you said too, like it could actually kind of backfire, for better or worse. So and we just really enjoy cars. So like if it's just cars and like it's car people that are on, it's going to be people who just enjoy cars.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's what you guys love doing, cars.
Yeah.
Cars.
And like I think that's what the other thing too is that like we talked about we're to be enthusiastic and like have the heated discussions with politics, but like what we're truly passionate about is cars.
Right.
Like, from like the whole
I do want to
spectrum.
say like we're not icing out literally everything else, because you have that one friend who we had on before and then the video got corrupted and all that, and I wouldn't mind having him back on.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked that is because the easier your audience is able to understand who you guys are and what it is you guys is doing, the easier they'll be able to tell the next person.
Yeah.
Like the one thing I always talk to the team about is like, let's keep it simple, stupid. Because if you guys are able to repeat who it is that we are, then it should be easier for the next person and the next person. And how do we dumb it down as much as possible so people know? Like, if you ask me, what is the EP podcast? What I have up is inspiring conversations with entrepreneurs, business owners, and public figures. Oh, what kind of videos do you guys do? Oh, we have 2 segments: Beyond the Headlines and Guest Interviews.
Yeah.
How often do you guys upload? The bar that we have right now is every other Monday, and you can see at the moment you go into our channel, it says it on the banner, every other Monday. But we deliver 3 videos a month, and then like it's just the easier it becomes to answer these questions, the easier people are able to like understand you, connect. Once there's like a familiarity aspect to it, people are able to like expand with you. Yeah. So like that's the thing. Like not yesterday, but like when I bring in people to the podcast and because they typically have some sort of business or whatever the case is, or some project they're working on, when I ask them and they're not able to tell me think about it like a 15-second elevator pitch. If you're not able to tell me like under a minute what your product or service is, who is it for, and where can people find out about it, then 1, you're either in the early stages, or 2, you don't even know what the hell you're doing. Yeah. So it makes it really hard for people to understand what it is you're doing if you don't even understand what it is you're doing. Yeah. At least at the bare minimum. Yeah. Like you guys said, you guys love cars. You guys have a lot of car people on. So it's like that's already answering some questions, but like how do we expand that even more? Yeah. Right? Because like for example, here's the thing, right? We had Tom's Reefer, right? The only reason I knew Tom was because I had a class with him, and we would exchange conversations on business. I didn't know he was a big YouTuber, right? Until I invited him on, and that did us a huge favor. He still our biggest episode in terms of like the long format video. I think it's like at 80-something thousand at this point. Wow. Yeah. And he got us a lot of subscribers. I think around like 300 or 400. And I was having this conversation with the team, is like, that's great and all, but we're not car people. Yeah. We're not car people. Yes, it helped us get to the YouTube partner program. Yeah. But we're not car people. We're business people. Yeah. What I was able to talk to Tom about in the podcast is different from what you guys would talk to Tom about in the podcast. Right. Like when Tom came on, I couldn't talk to him about cars. Yeah. I would talk to him about his business though, how he runs his channel, how he runs his equipment company, all that kind of stuff. I was able to talk to him about that. But if he were here, you guys would be talking to him specifically about cars, like all that little stuff. So the conversation would be different. So it's just, and I've had people that says, "Oh, you should bring this person on, this person." It's like, yeah, sure, but it's like they're not really like in our
they're not in our lane.
They're not like in our space, our focus, our niche, for lack of a better term. So it doesn't really make sense that much.
Yeah, I don't know if you recall, but like we had a similar conversation last time you were on, where you asked us like what our goals were, what we were doing, and at the time, we had said that we didn't really want to limit anything because we didn't want to. Like we wanted to talk about it. And now we're at a point where we are kind of like focusing, because like I said, talking about like current events got tiring and a little depressing.
Yeah. You said from the beginning though, like if we're going to do a podcast, the smart way to do it is a niche. If not, we're going to get lost.
Well, the saying is
we are kind of like narrowing our focus a bit.
Like when I started the podcast, it's EP Podcast, right, for Emilio Pastor. But what it really was like the everyday people is what it was, because I would bring anybody and everybody that I knew. Yeah. Right. But as I recorded more and more episodes, I started thinking, okay, who do I want to be around more? Yeah. Right. And so I narrowed it down to, again, that's when I said the whole thing about 3s, right? Entrepreneurs, business owner, public figures. Let me leave it down to 3. And those are the kind of people I want to start bringing in more. So, and then I was able to focus on that more. So that connected me to more and more and more and more of those kind of people. And that's not taken away from, that's not me saying, oh, I don't give a fuck I don't give a fuck about you if you're not in that. So that's not saying that at all. That's just, that's what our content is on. Yeah. So, and that's just what it is. That's our audience. That's what we're focusing on. The saying is like the riches are in the niches or something like that. Right. So it's like, it's not what's the word? It's not discriminating. It's the word discriminating against anybody else coming on. It's just we already have our field of focus. Yeah. right? So I think the more you guys will like focus on that, the more you guys will be able to attract more people like that.
Yeah, and I've already been thinking about like cars may even be too broad. You know, where like I'm worried that like the cars like that Adrian has versus the car that I have.
Yeah.
We're looking at two different niches where I'm like, does that even work?
So then, like, if you were to ask me, like, what our influence is or what it was, like, heavily on first is the PBD podcast.
Yeah.
Is the PBD podcast. Like, we are very similar to them, right? But over time, we've kind of built our own identity outside of, like, Home Team. Home Team is their thing, right? Where they have, like, their own internal people and then discuss politics and headlines and all that kind of stuff like that. So we went with Home Team for a while until I started getting comments saying, "What the fuck is this? A PBD podcast or shit like that?"
Okay.
Which is great. Because it's reaching the audience I want to reach, right? And I started noticing our demographics, our where location was coming from. Florida started being big, and that's where they're based out of, and that's what I like. But then I was like, all right, guys, we've been doing Home Team for a while. I want to build our own identity a little bit. What does that look like? So we all sat down. Listed ChatGPT. If you're not leveraging AI, please do. Use ChatGPT. Make it your best friend for the podcast.
Yeah.
And we wrote down a list of, I don't even know how many names, and then we narrowed it down to Beyond the Headlines. So now our segment is Beyond the Headlines, and then we're running with it. So again, Beyond the Headlines, 3 words, BTH. So it's like just stuff like that. You know, just building it over time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like racing. Not that like we like. I feel like that's kind of more of like the niche. It should be, but you know, we'll figure it out. But
so,
you're right.
So sorry. I meant to say with that was like, so who is your guys' PBD podcast?
That's more a question that you're equipped to answer. I don't watch a lot of podcasts.
Adrian loves podcasts. He listens to podcasts every single day. It's his favorite thing. He goes to bed listening. No, Adrian hates them.
I don't hate them.
Which is why he's on one.
I have TikTok brain.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing too. It's like my co-host didn't watch any podcasts, and I had to tell him, I was like, but my co-host is in his 30s, but he's very old. He's like a very what's the word?
An old soul.
It's an old soul. Yeah, it's like an old soul. So his way of viewing media was very old school train of thought. So which is obviously not going to work in today's world. I mean, there's some things that are everlasting.
Sure.
But you got to know how to do it in the day of age of today. So I told him, and it started becoming a little bit of a conflict. I was like, dude, I'm sorry. If you're going to tell me how to run a podcast, you need to watch podcasts too.
Yeah.
You need to watch podcasts too, because it's the only way we'll be able to do groupthink. And then this was after he made the website comment. And then he came after that episode. He came after like with a bunch of ideas because he started watching podcasts, and all of a sudden ideas start flowing. So that's also the thing too, and that's what the part as a leader it comes into effect because he's older than me. Who the fuck am I to tell someone older than me what the fuck to do?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if we're in this together, then how do we also evolve? Because the podcast only evolves as much as you guys evolve.
Right.
If you guys are not evolving yourselves, that's as much as a podcast is going to evolve.
Yeah.
So it depends on who you guys, how serious do you guys want to take it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we didn't.
So yeah, shop at eppodcast.us.
Shout out. But yeah. So I mean, we certainly, we're a couple $1,000s into like making all of this work, and not even accounting for all the time and the effort that goes into just getting to day one.
Yeah.
To like getting a video out. So, we didn't do that because we had it laying around. We were like, this is an investment. Like one day it'll make money.
Yeah.
It does,
I'm betting my retirement.
It wasn't like not like a quit your job kind of thing, but it was like, why not have a second source of income?
Absolutely.
We get to have fun and, so we definitely do want to take it further, but again, it's like, it's just sort of how, and then like, the same complaint, and everyone has the same 24 hours. We wouldn't do that, but like, and then just how we can
just cut back on production a little bit and focus on the business itself. Like, where do we want to go? Like, how do we want to brand ourselves?
Yeah.
Like, you guys just rebranded. Rebranded your logo.
Yeah,
that's great. And I almost ended up doing that this year too. Thankfully, thankfully, I don't know what, just I had like different logos I wanted to do. And then I thought, oh my God, this logo is great. And I like your guys' logo.
Yeah,
I was like, and I was like, oh, I thought this logo is fucking awesome. I like this new logo. And because instead of doing that mic, I did the Rode Pod mic.
Nice.
And it was different.
Yeah.
But then I put up a poll on Instagram. No one fucking liked it. No one liked it. They thought it looked goofy. They thought it looked like the check engine light. I was like, oh shit, I'm glad I asked because I was fully ready to go. And as you know, as a brand, you know, one, creating the logo, but two, also having to replace it everywhere is a bitch. Right, is a bitch because now I got to replace it for every piece of merch I have or like stuff like that.
Yeah,
so it gets very complicated.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's so there you go. Right, it's like that's the other thing too. Ask your audience, ask your people, what can we be doing? What can we be doing?
And see, that's the other
that also
sort
helps
of
farm engagement.
Yeah, that's the other side of the coin too. Where like we started this podcast and we were like, if we're doing it, it's going to be something that like we want to do. We're not going to do it for air quotes everyone else, even though it's supposed to be everyone else. So then Adrian and I will ramble, or with a guest, we'll just jump around from topic to topic.
Yeah.
Like we literally come down here and just chop it up.
Yeah.
And then other people, like I get feedback from like friends that I care about, and they're like, you guys got to finish a fucking thought.
Yeah,
like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So then like you add whiskey to it, whatever, and like obviously this one is super easy because you know how to podcast. You're
I do okay.
Like you're doing great.
Yeah. It's like I think I got to figure it out until I fucking realize I don't.
So you stay on track. You make sure that you finish the thought. But if you're just like a normal person who comes and wants to hang out and like you're chopping it up.
Yeah.
We got you feeling comfortable. Before you know it, we were
started
talking about this.
Oh, sorry.
We started talking about that, and then it's like, but we had fun, but like for someone who's just listening in, like unless they
Make
just
a fucking point.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Enjoy like being in the room.
Here's the thing: I like hanging out with you guys. I see you guys as friends, but from a business standpoint, we don't make sense.
Yeah.
You guys and me don't make sense in terms from a business standpoint in terms of like because you guys love cars.
Yeah,
I like business. Now you could do business on cars.
Yeah,
right. But what I like is that we're both podcasters,
right?
Right, so we connect through that, because we're able to share insights and all that kind of stuff between us, which is why I think we should stay together and build a community on that because it helps us share even more insights to help each other out. But that's just the thing. Here's the thing. This is your guys' venture. A lot of the reason people start their own venture is because they want to be their own bosses. But the truth is, your customer is the boss.
Yeah. Right.
So while it is annoying sometimes to hear what some people have to say because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about sometimes, the customer isn't always right. You can't tell them that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You gotta listen to them because they're the ones giving you the views, and eventually they're gonna be the deciding factor how much it is you get paid.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think where the biggest divide here between your podcast and ours is like you're approaching this strictly from like a point of view of a business. When we started this, it was like money was secondary. It was going to be if this takes off, great. But we're doing this because we want to talk about shit. We want to talk about what we want to talk about, and we want to talk about it with people that we want to talk to. And obviously, like you said, from a business standpoint, that doesn't make fucking sense.
Well, you could still do that and make it make sense for you as a business.
Yeah, and that's what we would need to navigate if we wanted to seriously monetize this.
Yeah,
but that's something that we're guys, we have so much time.
Let's help each other out. I mean, this is great because here's like when you guys start considering podcasts. I mean, sponsorship opportunities. I'm more than happy to give you guys my template, and then you guys replace your making your own contract, and it's just shit like that. It's like we could be helping each other out. There's nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yeah.
So like things like that, like me sharing exactly how we structure our podcast and all that stuff. It's like there's enough. The creator economy is not slowing down, and there's more and more money being added to the pool. So it's like the good thing about being a content creator is that you view some people as competition, but that competition could also be collaborators. So it's like that's why. Any other podcast, it's like I'm not. Let's fucking work. Let's work together. Let's help each other out.
Yeah. I think when we were on your podcast a year ago, you had asked I forget exactly what you asked, but it had to do with is there enough space in the podcast space? And I said something to the effect of it is a saturated market, but views are and this is a shit analogy, but it's the best I got. Views are like a renewable resource. It's just people giving their time to watch something as entertainment.
Yeah.
And that is a vast, wide market.
Yeah.
So,
well, nothing's stopping one viewer to watch one podcast and then watching the one right after. Well, another one right after.
That's what I'm getting.
Right,
like,
right.
It's a low effort thing for the consumer, and we benefit off of that.
Right.
Yeah, and like something that I noticed, and I'm probably gonna mess it up again, but like, 'cause I know it wasn't like their greatest thought, but it's like when you see how many views Mr. Beast gets, you're like, it's like, no, that's all YouTube. Isn't that everything? Isn't that everyone on YouTube? Like, how can anybody like? There can't be that many people watching YouTube.
There
like,
is.
There's there's Mr. Beast, and then there's like iSpeed that you brought, right?
iSpeed,
yeah. And it's like, bro, how is
guy.
there this much? It's like it kind of mind boggles
Yeah.
you, and then that's when you start to think like, okay, wait, there is space for like everybody on here. You
2
know?
views doesn't equal 2 people.
Right.
2 views could be 1 person watching it twice.
Yeah.
So
Or 4 people watching half of it.
right.
Thanks,
so
Mom.
yeah. So it's like that. That's the beauty about it. It's TV.
Yeah.
Right. Nothing stops you from switching the channel, watching another show, and then watching another show, and binge watching a bunch of crap. So it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. You might have
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, so it's like, no, you collaborate with meet people. You guys got to make the effort to meet more people that are interesting to you.
Yeah.
To you.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, and I think like with cars and being in that realm, like
That's a big
we're
market
enjoying
in
it.
itself.
Yeah, we're enjoying it a lot more.
If you
and
guys
I think
love
slowing,
it, then fucking dive into
yeah,
it.
and I think slowing
good?
down.
Sorry.
There you go. Slowing down a bit. Yeah, I'll actually take a little smidge as well. Slowing down a little bit, like, which is something that we have already talked about. Because I think what's also like, even if it isn't like, we're so productive, with like what we do with the podcast because we're not busy doing it. Just experiencing life, gives us more to talk about when we sit down, and especially if it's car related.
Yeah. And like, here's the thing, right? It's like, you start understanding, so you got to make yourself, exactly, and what you're saying right now is the more you evolve, the more everything else around you evolves even more. Is this on camera by chance, this logo?
It is in the camera.
Oh crap! All right.
Why?
It's okay. It's just a day job. I didn't think that through. I try not to get free promo. But so it's like it's now to the we've got. Here's the thing, right? It's like you guys love cars. Be around those people that love cars as much as you do, because you guys will exponentially, creatively, like, grow.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, for me, it's like I love being around people that do business, that they get excited about when you hear.
One of these things is a lot more lucrative than the other.
But even with business, it's like yes, corporate America makes it sound really boring.
Yeah.
But it's super exciting when you find, this works with this marketing campaign, this works with this in operations. How can we think outside of the box to make it even more appealing to us?
Like, as long as you don't start using like corporate jargon and speak.
Oh my God, yeah, it happened. Yeah, let's touch base offline.
We'll
circle back.
Circle back. My last email.
Let's put boots on the ground or some shit. Like
It's
so stupid. It's
our company is here to align interests, to bring value.
It's synergize. It's silly, but it's like for us, like when we deliver content, we've narrowed it down to, here's our format for content delivery, right? We try to announce the episodes Sunday afternoon, like around 3:00. Then we're delivering the full episode Monday morning at 9 a.m. because that's when we find it does best. And then we're releasing all the short clips for it the next 3 days after. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 9 a.m. we're releasing all the short clips because that's what we found has bought in
that's
the
peak
most
engagement
views.
hours.
Right. So it's just finding what that is for you, and that comes over time.
Yeah. 9 a.m. is where you get peak engagement.
Well, like you said, because people
here's also
are at work,
right?
They're
so they're not working.
But here's also
they're throwing a podcast.
There's
on
that
while
way
they're
to
at
look at it, and there's also the way to look at it is if I post at 5 p.m. That leaves me only That leaves me 7 hours of the day where people could come across my content.
Yeah.
Whereas if I post it at 9 a.m., now I got 13 hours to work with, or whatever the math is. So it's like it gives me much more opportunity for exposure.
Yeah, I just find it interesting that that's the time that works with the algorithm, because the algorithm pays attention to how much engagement you get right off the bat, and if it doesn't start taking off immediately, it starts getting pushed under.
Yeah, and that's also the thing too. It's hard to keep up with, the algorithm with different platforms like Instagram, right? Instagram, I know they will always love carousels over single post, right? They will always love a 4x5 versus a 1x1 picture, especially like you see now on Instagram. Now it's like a longer picture. It's no longer just a square. Things like they'll love reels over anything else.
They really like reels.
They also prioritize and you guys need to follow the Instagram CEO because he gives away all these gold nuggets. He'll tell you straight up what is and isn't working. He straight up said that the hashtags don't work. Like, they're nothing. The reason hashtags were even...
I told you about that.
Yeah, the only...
and like it's costing me money per hashtag.
That is true, right? That's also true. But it's the thing. It's
for
like...
your page.
Right. The only reason Instagram had hashtags at the beginning was so they could categorize the content they had, so they could sell to different companies for sponsorship opportunities, for marketing opportunities. So it was an easier way for them to organize all their content. So there's that. And then also all the things like they prioritize sends over saves. So like how many people you're sending to, like, and all those things feeds the algorithm more. And then finding what that is for like YouTube too. So yeah.
So like, comment, and share.
Yeah, literally. Like for what? So after studying, you gotta study. You gotta study these people. You ever seen that one guy that fucking goes around, Luke Belmar? He's like, I studied, bro. He's like, I studied, bro. You guys never seen that guy?
No.
He's like, hold on. What did he say? He's like, he was talking about Tristan Tate. He's talking about Tristan Tate.
Yeah.
He's like, me, Tristan Tate in the war room, sipping Johnny Walker. You know how I did that? I studied, bro.
What's his name?
Luke Belmar. I studied.
Luke Belmar.
And then
You gotta do. I studied.
Yeah,
Well, you're putting us on a wild goose chase now.
great looking guy, man. By the way. I remember. See, I'm
studied,
not.
bro.
There's some people that are okay, like not okay with like complimenting another dude. It's like you gotta call a spade a spade, man.
Oh yeah. I studied, bro.
And people just clown him for it, but you know what? That's giving him more attention.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And again, that's it's crazy. It's what it's all about.
You know, Gary Vaynerchuk, everybody hates that dude. I mean, he's cringe. I'm not gonna lie. But something that he says is true. Like he released his book a while ago called The Thank You Economy. And then after that he released a book called The Attention Economy. And that's the truth. Attention is currency. Right?
Yeah.
Attention is currency, but you just got to find out how to convert that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, attention is potential data that is currency.
that is true. That is
point.
true. Well,
Yeah.
that is everything.
Right.
That is everything.
And the YouTube analytics like that you can get just from like the YouTube Studio, which I really like because I started in the
They
same
show
thing.
dislikes, right? Because they took that away from like just.
Yeah. So
We're not
but
negative,
they
are
of course we are. When we get a dislike, I'm like, damn. I'm like,
Fuck it,
we get
man.
like one, but it's like because like usually it's just 100%,
Yeah.
100%, and there was like, and then like it just drops down a little, and I'm like, there's a dislike. I'm like, on that video, I'm like, who didn't like
Yeah.
it that much?
Yeah.
Where I was like, it's just like we're chopping, and someone was like, no. When I like, because people won't even go out of their way to like it, right? You get like 50,
to go out of the way to
Yeah,
unlike it, you really got to fucking
Right.
hate it.
Like how fucking
Well, no,
bad was
honestly,
it?
if we only get like one dislike for like every couple videos, that's amazing. Because
Yeah.
most people like negative interactions and negative memories are what stick out. That's why when you go to like, let's just use McDonald's as like the perfect example. You go on like Google reviews or Yelp or anything, every McDonald's is like 3 stars at most. Because everyone, their first instinct when something goes wrong is, I'm going to fucking downvote this. I'm going to 1-star this.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're doing, I'll take that as a win.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at everything as a constructive.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
And then so I think what I was going to say was just keeping the reels down to 20 seconds. You know,
Little
'cause I
things like
started
that.
looking at like, I'm like, oh,
That's
the average time
exactly.
is 12 seconds that someone's going to watch.
You know what's Mr. Beast's favorite word?
Huh.
Retention.
Retention. Yep.
Yeah.
Retention.
Yeah. Which is, and then back to, the fact that people make it like 30
Dude,
minutes into our
you
podcast.
have the data. You have 405 pieces of data. Put them together in an Excel, and it's going to be time consuming.
Yeah.
But it's going to help you grow.
Excel.
Look, here's what I do. So we do something at the podcast that we recently started called we do an engagement recognition report, right? And what we do is we collect all of the pieces of content we upload, and then we write down the likes, the comments, the shares. Some platforms will tell you whether or not it converted to a follower, and then I look at every single one of them. And mind you, we post like around 40 pieces of content, original content, unique content a month. Which really means like anywhere from 60 to 90 pieces of content a month because you got to distribute it across platforms. And then I look at exactly what worked, what didn't work, why this one hit, and then I write down, okay, this letter, this font works well. When I add this shadow effect on it, it works well. When I use this sound effect, it works well. When it's this long, it works well. This doesn't work well. When I go past the 30
you're building a format.
So it's like, I'm breaking it. How many of our last 100 videos have reached 1,000 views? Why? What did I do? Was it the sound? Was it this? Was it that? And then I break it down as much as I can, and then I repeat it. And then you start finding all the little things that work and don't work.
And so I'm curious as far as like a return on these reels, because I've thought about, which I think we mentioned before the podcast, about going kind of deep into how to make these reels like more engaging and like complex. But I'm like, if I do that and I am successful, do people like my reels or do people like my podcast?
How I look at it is the reels are a funnel into your long format.
Yeah.
So if you were to imagine a funnel, the reels are on top. Then there's a podcast. And then if you're looking at it from a guest perspective, it could be, and then boom, it finds your next potential guest. Or if you're looking at it from a sales perspective.
Actually, that's something we should do. We should, if you want to be on, reach out to.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any,
Right.
Well, right now we're relying on either people we know or people.
We've got a lot of people. We've got some people reaching out, but like I also.
How do you keep track of that?
I don't want to open the. To be honest, there's just not many people that I have decided to be on.
So you just have it all in your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like calendar dates.
Do you have a laptop or something?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
just use Google Sheets. Use Google Sheets.
Docs.
What is that?
Google,
and that's keeping track
it's free.
of guests.
Yeah,
Is
it's just
that what
keep
you're talking
What we do is when I first started, I tried to write down 100 people's names that I know, right? And then I
did do that.
Yeah, so there you go. And then I narrowed it down to, okay, I want to interview this many people. And then I literally created a funnel with it. It's like, okay, this is my people of interest. These are the people I have scheduled. No, these are the people that I have met with to potentially record. And these are the people that I have a scheduled recording with. And then now you have a list just to go off.
Yeah. Yeah, see, and I the piece I just really picked up from that was the fact that you've met with those people, which I think that is huge. Where like we have had absolute strangers, you know. I mean, obviously you did as well. Like we didn't meet before, but
the reason why I do this because you are bringing them into your home,
right?
So that's the other thing. So like I don't know how far you guys are from the nearest like local spot here. Even if it's just low commitment, a coffee or a tea.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
there's been. One or two guests where that probably would have benefited.
But even from the other perspective, from the guest perspective, I haven't even met this dude and I'm going to their house.
Right.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah,
so
it's
like
crazy.
Just low commitment, like let's go grab tea or coffee somewhere and let's just chat.
Yeah, it's actually it is. It's literally crazy.
And that way,
it wasn't. Dude, it wasn't crazy until like I was actually doing it, and I was sending my address out, and I was like, "Yo, dude, I'm just like my address is just out here.
Yeah,
like this is crazy."
Yeah, I don't send it out.
Like,
I give it an area, and I don't send it out until literally 2 days before.
Yeah,
2 days before.
Yeah. We bought shit off of Craigslist and Marketplace. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the here's. Because, you said that he's taking on majority of this workload, right?
Yeah.
So, and here's what I'm going to tell you, dude. Anything you could just systemize and get the fuck out of your head and just to get that load off your head, the more creative you'll be able to be.
Yeah.
And that's when the real growth happens.
Yeah, but to be honest, like we've kept that. I've just purposely kept that very like chill. So like I haven't. At first, I started to like schedule a bunch of people, and then like now I have this like systematically like just in my calendar, on my phone. I think that was good enough for me. But like it's still, you're right, it's still noodling around on there. I had to go back and check it, whatever. Yeah. But then the reason I didn't do that is because like then I would like check in with these people like, hey, like you, and then they're like, yeah, and then like the day of they're like, no, and I'm like, oh, okay. So like what I really have is I have a bunch of people that were being nice, thought they wanted to. It came down to it. They either got nervous or they really never wanted to in the first place.
That's a funnel in itself.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, and that's fine. And then, it's easy for Adrian and I because we can just come down here and do a podcast. But
that's also where, like, the whole let's meet at a restaurant and talk.
Yes. That's what, and that really, kind of washes.
That's where you're able to fill them out because all it is you're just meeting them to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And potentially explore the idea of doing a recording together.
We kind of do a light version of that, which you experienced firsthand now twice, where we just shoot the shit for half an hour before we can start recording.
Yeah,
and that does actually help, I think, a lot.
No, absolutely.
Here, but I do like your system. I think that might be beneficial.
Try it out. Try it. Keep it low commitment. Don't even do lunch. Don't do dinner. Do coffee. Do coffee or tea. Do coffee or tea, and
Yeah, and I think in our area, like especially where we want to start going with this, would be. Like, for me, it's like car related stuff.
Yeah.
So like whether it's car meets or like track.
You guys go to car meets, right?
Yeah.
In fact, there's one next week that I do want to go to.
Dude, didn't you already have a pool to recruit guests on?
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's
exactly.
Why did I not think of that?
Well, honestly, like we did and we do and we kind of have without thinking about it. And it's also like it wasn't until it's kind of funny. It wasn't until like this year we decided that we really wanted to make it car focused.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
but there'll always be.
Here's a scenario, right? Let me. I have a scenario in my mind. I've been to a couple car meets, so correct me if I'm wrong on this. Car meets, people just everybody's displaying their car, and then everybody has their hood popped up, and they're chit chatting, look at the insides of the car, and, paying each other compliments, giving each other feedback, and all that kind of stuff. The ideal scenario for you guys is, let's say you find somebody who has a really fucking cool car that you like, right? Which I'm sure you do all the time when you guys go to these meets. I'm like, dude, this is freaking awesome, man. Would you mind coming to my podcast and having a conversation with us about it? Like, is that something you would be interested in?
So I've taken it even a step further. It backfired. Again, it's a money issue.
Well, it's a money
and a talent issue.
Just learning. It's a learning process.
I was trying to do interviews at the track. So like they're like with that person, like instead of them coming to me, like I've already driven, to the track, like car guys themselves are always busy with the car, especially if you're a guy that's deep into it, So to get them to be like, well, hey, like I'm gonna drag you out of your shop, you have to come to my house, like it's a hard sell, know, and I'm not like local to a lot of people. So like it was easier concept to just be like, cool,
and
here,
I know that pain
find
point.
A little spot, we'll do it in front of your car,
and then we'll just set up some chairs. We had the benefit of knowing a couple.
Well, here's how I sell it to established people that really I gain more from them coming on my podcast than they gain from them coming on the podcast. Our angle is that people don't just get to know your product, which is the car. They get to know the owner, right, and connect with you at that level, and then bring you that attention. Like if you're a guy that's in cars and you have a shop, for example, now we're not just promoting your shop, we're also promoting you. Yeah, because
we did do that.
Let's be sometimes you don't realize the things, the patterns and systems you're building without even you do it sometimes without even recognizing it. And then you just give them that angle. You got to make it sure, because here's the thing: you gotta make it beneficial for them too. Say, hey, we'd love to talk about your business and talk about it, and we have this platform, and then we upload on these kind of places we think would be great exposure or whatever the case is. But you gotta be smooth about it. It's like when you, it's like, for example, when I'll take it back to like meeting people, right? It's like you let the girl talk, right? You make them feel good. It's like you only complimenting it if they're kind of layaway, like they're giving you a layaway for it. But it's like you let them talk. You make them feel important. You make them feel heard. I want to hear about you. I'm so interested in you. I just want you to I just want to know more. If you just sweet them up, it's like make them feel nice. Then good, you're good, because and that comes back down to that undeniable hospitality, right? Because if that felt great, they're gonna be like, oh my God, this is so cool. I've never done anything like this before. I know I have this is how it happens 9 times out of 10 with me. I know this guy, like he will, this will be great for him. And then next guy.
Yeah. And you just feed off that chain.
Exactly. So like we had I like MMA. Like I like watching it. It's good, cool entertainment. I like watching it. I can't do it for shit though. It's like I'll get my ass beat any day. But here's the thing, right? It's like I had this guy from BKFC, from Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, which is like a different fighter organization from UFC, Bellator, and all of them. And they found out about me through a guest that I had on, right? So we connected. We had lunch, I think, October of last year, and we recorded in January, right? We recorded in January, and this guy is also training partners with John Jones, Sean Strickland, all big names in the UFC. Huge. And he's fighting in BKFC. You know who's a co-owner of BKFC? Conor McGregor. So you got to be very strategic with your relationships over time, because you're literally only a couple of people away from like your break.
Yeah, potentially.
Right, from your break. Yeah. Like I know you guys, like I'm your guys' connection to Tom's Refurb. Yeah. Right? And I'm trying to find out how to do it, because you guys are out here, so you guys would have to, because
and that's my point
that's
too.
The thing.
Where I'm sure he's probably said he's like, I'm up to my tits here, dude. Like I'm busy, and like so, especially with that like vlogging thing, which is kind of what's almost made us nervous getting into vlogging, is that like, again, it's like he's got to complete a video. He's got to strap a turbo to something and make it crazy. And
I think the best way to strategically go about that, because like last time we called Tom, he picked up immediately on FaceTime and everything. I'm not going to call him right now, but it's so funny about that. When I was interviewing Patrick Brady, he told me, I got John Joe's number. I could call him right now. Yeah. My head went like, fucking call him. Call him right now. Call him right now. And I was like, wait, no, I need to not be that little excited kid. It's like, be strategic about this. No, because I don't want John Jones to be uncomfortable with Patrick having his number like that and giving it out like that. So I'm gonna take the long route here. Yeah. So I think the best way I could connect you guys to Tom is you guys are gonna have to take a chance here. Yeah. If you guys really want to, is I set up lunch with him or whatever the case is, and then they're like, hey, is it okay if I bring a couple buddies of mine? It's like they want to meet you too. Yeah. And then you guys connect that. Yeah. So
I think Tom just needs to see Adrian's Buick, and we're in.
I watched a couple of his videos. He had a '63 Buick. Yeah. Same basic car.
Yeah.
You guys won't be able to shut up.
There you go. And that's
gonna be great.
I don't
and
think
here's
he
the thing.
cared about it though. Like, he fixed up some metal, did a burnout, and that was the video.
And because you guys already have that car base, he's gonna be the guys that get you into the YouTube Partner Program.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
All right, we've reached the 2-hour mark.
You
break?
Yeah. That's literally what I was thinking.
Sorry. Any point. We're
also,
this is deep.
Since we're 2 hours in, you made an entire purse wallet thing. I've just been watching that.
She made a EP podcast banner.
That started as a strip of fabric when we started.
Oh shit.
That's crazy. I love that.
Yeah. You gotta get at least 20, bro. So go ahead, open it up. I archived it. Well, because it was just a funny in the moment video. You guys know Ashton Hall, right?
I feel like I've heard that name.
Come on, man! You gotta be living in a freaking rock.
I think I'm living under this one.
So Ashton Hall is a guy who got really. You remember the guy from Target, right? The guy from Target that got popular for doing his Target runs.
Nope.
Okay. So Ashton Hall is the guy who got famous recently because of his morning routine.
Oh God,
yeah. Where he does the
there.
face plunges.
The
face plunges. He wakes up at 4 a.m, starts doing push-ups on the balcony for no reason, and then does all these sprints and crap. So people, the internet went wild. The internet went wild.
I've seen so many parodies of that.
Yeah, literally. So I ended up making one myself, but I archived it. Well, it was let's see, look up Ashton Hall at least 20. Yeah, and then go to all, and then let me see. Hold on. Go to that first TikTok link. No, I'm sorry. I meant the. Yep, go down. Yep, sorry, I meant that one.
Oh, that.
I had no idea how to distinguish it. That first video. So he'll just be randomly saying shit like that. Like it's like, yeah, and then people come at. There's no light reflecting off his face from the laptop or anything. He's just randomly saying, "We gotta make at least 20, bro," because he started with. There was another video where he was out on the balcony. He's like, "Yeah, I know Mr. Beast is already famous enough, but I promise you, if he starts waking up at 3:50 a.m., he's gonna make at least 10 billion, bro." It's just like. It's just great. There was another one where he's taking a dive into the pool, right? And you notice that from the moment he jumps into the pool to the moment he gets into the pool, into the water, 4 minutes go by. Were you in the air for 4 minutes? So he makes a video on that. It's like, I was really in the air for 4 minutes, bro. What I love about this guy is, everybody's mocking him and making fun of him, but he's playing with it, right? Some people you make fun of and they take it up the ass.
Right.
This guy is just
leaning
going
into it.
Yeah.
The other thing he made really popular was the Saratoga water. Right, it's like this big blue water. Now Saratoga. I think I saw somewhere where Saratoga water sales are like up like 5,000 to 10,000%. I forget what the hell it is, but it's just like
they're probably shitting themselves. They're like, we can't do this.
Well, they're making a shit ton of money from it, so it's like. But no, that's been like the latest. So I made my own video. Unfortunately, I don't have it on. What's it called? So I'm gonna send it to you because I have it on here. And then is that connected to your phone or anything like that?
If you send it to
you can airdrop it to the Mac.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I need me one of those.
Yeah.
or if you send
Mac's
it to
fine.
the Leave It Running
Let's see here.
Instagram page, we could definitely pull it up from that too.
Yeah.
Either way. AirDrop gets picky with my phone on this computer, so I don't know if you're going to have any issues with it.
No. So let's see. So and here's the thing, and just look up Ashton Hall by itself on TikTok.
Search.
Yeah.
Explorer? No. Search.
Yeah. And see what comes off. My mom's blowing up my phone.
Ashton Hall official.
Yeah, sorry, not his page. Just like see what videos are associated with it, kind of like hashtags or something like that.
Yeah, see this.
Or then just look it up on Google.
Where the
I think if you just
went,
if you just do top, I think that works because you were under users.
And then just go videos. And then
the morning routine.
is there any? Let me see. So, anyways, I mean, there's this song that always plays with it. It's something I just jerked a band director. I got a saxophone, and then it makes like some really odd, silly sounds, like beep 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 beep. And everybody like fast forward it. So I ended up doing it myself. Okay, so I'm getting an airdrop here from Keith Faulkner. So is that?
No, it should be Mac Mini.
Mac Mini. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, you could airdrop it to me, and I could airdrop it to the Mac. But
That could also work. Well, now you're gonna have an archive video of me. That's fine. You could you could blackmail me like a year from now. Yeah, I'll send it to you right now.
oh, there it is. It's up there.
Oh, look at that.
Ba-ba-da-ba. Yeah, airdrop is just
I love it. Yeah.
the best. Oh, I did see this.
And that video is always playing with it on
Yeah,
all the
I
Ashton Hall ones.
I
I'm
think-
just randomly carrying a pumpkin at the end.
Yeah, I think you had it on your story. Yeah, I think it. You gotta do at least 20 now.
This is a song that always gets me. But yeah, and I kid you, that video was not planned. Like I was just recording B-roll.
Yeah.
I was just recording B-roll, and I was just looking at I was typing something on my computer, and it just randomly came to mind. We got to do at least 20 now.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
at least
so
20
next thing,
now.
I'm like saying it. I'm like, oh, fuck, now I want to make this a video.
Yeah, who's that? The bald guy.
The bald guy.
The bald guy with like the pants that are too short, and he is like always wearing.
Oh
like,
my
penny
god!
loafers.
You're talking about the fucking sleazy car sales guy.
Yes. Who's got like so many.
Fuck me! I
crimes,
can't stand
like,
his
for
ass.
sales.
His name.
Andy or
Andy Elliott. Andy Elliott. Oh my god,
Yeah.
he's so annoying. His shorts are literally like his
pants. They're like it's crazy, but yeah, and like all the dumbass shit that comes out of that dude's
Yeah.
mouth. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I like. and I hate it, you know. And I know that you had mentioned
he tells everybody, yeah, man, I won't work with you if you don't have a six pack.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna put that loser up. But, yeah, yeah, the stuff that like works for like young men now is like this dude. It's like it's weird, you know, and like you're just like saying random shit.
It's that alpha male, or not alpha male now. It's sigma male.
Yeah. Whereas in like Alex Hormozy, which I know like you actually kind of turned me on to him, where like
what you mean by that?
Well, you put me on.
Hey, yo.
But yeah, his videos are Alex Hormozy. Like I do actually like those because they're, you know, I don't have tons to compare it to basically, but like in his videos, he's very like, it's like he's trying to get out of there. It's like he's just like giving you the information, like as if like he's like, well, I have somewhere to be in like 20 minutes. So look, this is it. Like pencil out and like whiteboard, right? Get it?
Yeah,
good.
straight to the
Got
point.
it? Okay. All done. Goodbye. And I like that. I like
his
that format.
Well, the thing is with Alex Hormozy is he's not trying to reach into our pockets.
Yeah.
His whole thing is he has acquisition.com, and acquisition.com, what they do is they help you. The whole thing is they'll help you go from $1 million in sales to I think 10 or 100 million. Right, and what they in return ask for is
20.
Got at least 20.
At least 20.
What's it called? And then in return, they just ask for a percentage of the company. I think is what it is. So that's why it's called acquisition.com. So his whole his whole spiel is give away all the content for free. Give away all the content for free, and then you get like a good following. And he blew up. He blew up last year. I love his book, $100 million leads, and then $100 million offers. The $100 million offers books was first, and that's a great book. That book made me a few $1,000s. Wow. That book, and then the leads ones too. So it's just like the thing is like with I studied, bro.
I studied, bro.
But no, it's
How
like
did I do that? I studied, bro.
It's like the books I read now. I'm literally studying them so I can implement them into what I'm doing. Right, like the summit, like as I told you guys, like the summit is my biggest event every year. It's like my Super Bowl, and every year we try to make it bigger and bigger, which becomes more and more expensive.
Yeah.
And so I need to figure out how do I get better and better at selling. Yeah. So like things like ManyChat now, that's going to help increase my conversion and attract more leads and stuff like that. Like little things like that. How do cold outreaches, warm outreaches, like all that kind of stuff. Figuring all that out, and it's just it takes time, but there's results on there.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Your summer summit, like, was that something that was like came from like growth, or is it like a step towards growth? You know what I mean? Like, is it something where like on a big scale, it's like, well, look, we made a lot of money last year. Like, we have to.
Oh no, we lose money on that thing.
Okay. Yeah,
we lose money on that thing. I have no reason to lie to you. We lose money on that shit because we always. My biggest thing is I like to over deliver. I want to surprise you the moment you come in.
Yeah.
Right. So, like for example, when we worked with Claridge last year at Atlantic City, and I didn't even know they did this, but this is a great thing about working with people that are doing it bigger than you are. Is when I didn't realize this until someone sent me a picture of it. Apparently, when you were checking in, and what hotels do is like they'll have like a today's meetings on like at the front of the hotel, like on front desk. I didn't realize they put like a whole thing for like they're like, oh, EPEX Summer Summit is happening this day and this day. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And when we had the conference center, apparently when you got down the elevator, they had a sign. They had a sign that said EPEX, and then that way I'm like, oh, this is fucking cool.
Crazy, yeah.
Cool. So it's like, so it's just doing. It loses money just because I like to over deliver, but. I mean, I just have a great time doing it. Yeah. I mean, she got involved this year with finding a location, and we've looked over at now, what is it, over 50? 50 locations, and not just generally speaking, specifically in Center Philadelphia. Specifically in Center. So analyzing 50 hotels, she got it down now to 10. Now I need to look at the 10 and narrow it down even further to the 1. Yeah. So it's and what I love about that is we built this whole, for lack of a better term, a CRM of hotels that we know, because it's not just writing down the name of the hotel. It's writing down the Google reviews, how many reviews. It's writing down all the amenities on separate columns and which one has it, which one doesn't have it, and any thought that we have on it specifically. And now we have like, is it like over 100 now? We have a list of over 100 hotels in the tri-state. I think no, not tri-state, because we also did Tampa. We have a list of over 100 hotels that can tell you all the amenities.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, because when I want to go to a next city, now I'm able to reference that. And then let's say if I just want to go to a vacation with like family and all that shit like that, now I could just reference that too.
Yeah.
So and by the way, if someone was also hosting another personal development company, say in some of the cities we've been in, give me $50 and I'll give you my CRM.
Yeah.
The hotel list. Now there's the potential there to make money from that.
Right.
So
yeah, and still it's the same thing. That's handshaking. You know, that's technically like handshaking. That's networking. That's like, yeah.
Yeah. So literally, the summit is just where we bring together all the pillars. Like we structure events around all of the pillars: health, wealth, love, and happiness. So. And we're so keen on you getting the right experience from the moment you leave to the moment you get in to the moment you leave. As I said, the moment they came in, they saw the EPEX sign, and when they came in, they got a welcome bag. And the welcome bag, one of the speakers that we had, he wrote a book, right? So I bought books for everybody that attended, and I specifically had him sign all the books. So everybody got a handwritten, a hand-signed, a signed copy of the book, as well as notepads, pens, some what's it called, electrolytes, for the next day, because when we go out.
Yeah.
And then, so the first day is we all have dinner together. And then the next day is all the workshops. We go do dinner again, and then we go have cigars. We had cigars at the rooftop of the Claridge Hotel, and it's just a great time, dude. It's a great time. And then we all go out afterwards, for the people that do want to go out afterwards.
Yeah.
It's just a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was always worried.
So you guys should come to Philadelphia this year. I mean, I get Atlantic City. Atlantic City is further out, but come on, guys.
Yeah.
I'm at your doorstep.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: it's going to be our cheapest one yet, because I want this to be twice as big as the one of last year, and last year was our biggest one.
Yeah.
I want it to be the biggest one yet.
Yeah.
So please do. We're working with great. We already have I guess like 3 people set up for speaking, and I'm trying to look for one more, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
So you were talking about the elevator pitch, and just for anyone who might be watching this and hasn't seen the last, what's your elevator pitch for EPEX?
So EPEX is a personal development company. What we focus on is elevating what we believe are the 4 pillars to, a successful life: health, wealth, love, and happiness. How we deliver that is through events throughout the year. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Whether it's be masterminds, whether it is in-person events, whatever it is, and then we just take it from there.
Yeah, so this is a chance for you to network and grow in these 4 pillars, and as well as learn from people who, in your opinion, have not mastered the 4 pillars, but have a good understanding of what these are.
And even if you just here's the thing. Let's be honest. Do we know how much we're spending on our personal development here? Like, do we have a budget allocated towards that? Like, do we know at the back of our mind, hey, I'm spending this much to improve myself in some way? The answer is yes. You just don't think about it like that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, do you guys have gym memberships?
No, right there.
Okay. So let's say you do, right?
Yeah.
And you're spending like $10 a month.
Yeah, that's
right.
a personal
You're spending
expense.
right. So how do we do that for everything? Because that's health, right? Health is what? Physical, mental. Okay, so how are you going about your mental? What's your way of improving your mental health? Are you meditating? Are you exercising is a way to do that too. Mm-hmm. Now wealth, we look at it from two standpoints: monetary and wealth as information. Right? Are you financially doing good? If not, what can you do to get there? Or from education, are you continuously growing? And then with love is just building on relationships, meaningful relationships. Mm-hmm. And we understand that there's personal relationships. We understand that there's professional relationships. We look into that. And then happiness is the checks and balance of everything, right? Yeah. It could also be the disconnection of what's it called? Just being able to disconnect. As you said, it's stressful to take all this on. Right. So how are you decompressing? Are you going on walks? Yeah. Are you giving in some way? Do you like giving? To others? It's like, how are you doing that? And we do all that for people. Yeah. Because here's the thing: I met people who have 6-packs that are miserable. I've met people who are fat that are extremely happy, but are fat, right?
Yeah.
I've met rich people that are miserable. I've met poor people that are extremely happy, and it's just how do we
bring balance?
yeah
to all
how
of
do
that?
we how do we do that? How do we do that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, balance. That's been like the topic of the podcast has
Balance.
been balance, dude. Like,
spoiler, you never find it.
yeah,
You can strive for an ideal, but you'll
Yeah.
never get there.
yeah,
But the cool thing is you surround yourself with people that are strong in specific areas.
Yeah.
So they help you compensate for the areas you're weak in. So that's the best part about it.
Yeah.
Right? Because we also believe in that is the African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So and we're very keen on that. Like, dude, EPEX, I could sit around and use all that time that I take for EPEX and just focus on myself instead and be doing so much better. But I won't feel as good, right? Because I'm going to be by myself, because it's like, unless I'm exposing myself to more people like that, I won't be able to bring the people up with me.
yeah,
I get a bigger satisfaction out of bringing people up with me.
yeah,
So EPEX is how I do that.
yeah,
And we connect aspiring entrepreneurs to existing entrepreneurs there. Like our last speaker, he had a, what's it called? He's a wealth manager, and he started his fund a long time ago, and he got to a point where he had like half a million on there, and then recently exited a few years ago to no, he had 500 million assets under management, and then he got it to the point where it was $500 million assets under management. Jeez. And then he got bought up by another company. Needless to say, this guy's living a fucking amazing life. But mind you, he also has a family. He has daughters that are all like he has a balance of everything. Like he has it all. And he's living in a beautiful house. When we went to go to his house and get the book signed, he was showing us around. And he was like, yeah, I could also show you the pickleball court or the tennis court. It's like, we just need to grab the cart. I thought he was joking when he said the cart.
Whoa.
I thought he was joking. Literally, he takes us to the back of the garage. Literally, we get on the cart and he starts showing us around.
Oh
I was
my
like, holy
God.
crap, you weren't lying. So it's just like
Holy
connecting
shit.
you guys to these people,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and yeah, and there's always something to be like taken away from
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And like it seems like it doesn't really
Yeah.
even matter like what you do or what
Yeah.
it is that you're interested in or what your goal is.
Yeah.
But like you surround yourself with people that are just in general success, maybe not even rich, but just like
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
as you said, they're successful in the ways that you are not in.
Right,
They're strong
right.
in the ways that you're weak in.
Right.
So, like, you could surround yourself with people who are financially successful, but if your issue stems from happiness and none of these people are happy, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. It's like rich. I feel like rich is subjective. It's like, what are
Yeah.
you rich in?
Yeah.
Right? Because some people just view rich as monetary. It's like, no, some people, they don't have to be wealthy.
Yeah.
But they have a family they go home to every day that love them, that they have a great relationship with, and they get to have a great time with. That's rich.
Yeah.
That to me is rich.
Yeah.
And if you have that and I don't, and I want that for myself, how do I do that? I ask you,
Yeah.
how do I do that? And then imagine meeting people like that for every little thing you want out of life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just the easiest
I've
way.
always thought of like rich being like not caring about the prices of the food on the menu. Like as soon as you can just buy like whatever you want out at a restaurant, at whatever restaurant you want to go to, like that's rich.
Yeah.
You know?
Financially
everything.
rich.
Yeah, financially
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Not like
Yeah.
monetarily.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
my rich.
Yeah.
But
So, like-
I would say I'm rich in everything else.
Here, I could show you guys a
I'm
quick
pretty happy.
recap of the summit last week. If you go to the EP
Yeah, get rid of
podcast
fucking
website,
Andy Elliott, would you?
and then go to the EP podcast, and then go to education,
Dude, I can't get over that hat.
and then
That's so funny.
and then click that, and then you'll be able to see a quick recap of everything.
Yeah.
That was the clerk.
That's right.
That was the clergy.
Yeah.
Unexamined life is not worth living. If you have no idea what's going on with yourself, you're never going to know how to improve it, how to adjust it. The days are long, but the years are short. It's what you do with the days that builds a successful life. It's what you don't do that builds a life of mediocrity or worse. So I want you guys to take advantage of the present. Make old you remember young you with fondness, not regret.
So that was a quick recap of the summit.
Dude, love that.
And that's not even capturing the outside of like the conference and
Yeah.
everything. Like
Yeah.
every dinner we had was amazing. Like like the first dinner we had, like it felt like something like, how do you even describe it? Because the Claridge is the oldest hotel in Atlantic City, so there's a lot of history to it. What are some of the? I think it was like JFK was there. Marilyn Monroe,
Maybe
Malcolm
together.
X,
No.
Malcolm X, Elvis,
Whoa.
like they were all there. And funny enough, that guy that you saw there, his name is Paul Dorsey. He, I think his parents got married there, or his grandparents got married
Wow.
there. So it was just like a full circle moment even for
Yeah.
him. So like the thing with Paul Dorsey, right? This guy, you know, I'm sure it's obvious at this point, so I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he's a multimillionaire, right? You know, he's doing at least to my understanding, you know, he doesn't need anything from me.
Yeah.
But what I created was, I knew that I got to learn that he wanted to practice public speaking. So I was like, oh, look at that. I hold events where we bring speakers. You have a whole life that people can learn from. Come to be the official speaker, be the head speaker, and then drive it home. And he did fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. And now he wants to do it again. And it's like, and he connects you to
And
the
now
next
you've built a
next
network.
person. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
The whole thing is relationships. The whole thing is relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I love that. And I think, so in December I turned 30, so I've had like a bit of a,
Congrats.
thank you, thank you, I think. I've had like a bit of like a early midlife crisis, like not to like anything crazy, you know, I haven't done anything irrational except for the car, but you know, whatever. But the, you know, the main thing I thought about was like, which I'm not saying I'm not like happy about what I've done in 10 years. I'm like very happy, you know. I'm one of the very few, I'm sure, who can even say they bought a house,
Yeah.
you know, within the last 10 years. So like there's tons of things, like engaged, I'm going to be married soon, like it's going to, you know, it's all these good stuff. But then you look at like, you're like, fuck, dude, that was 10 years. Like it just goes by so fast.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I could have done more. I'm like, I'm having this like weird, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
That's always the case,
yeah.
though.
Or isn't it?
That's always the case. You know why? Because you're adapting, I think, a growth mindset.
Yeah.
A growth mindset. There's a few different mindsets. There's the complacent achiever. There's the disappointed striver, and I think there's another one in between. But then there's the growth mindset. The growth mindset is you're constantly evolving, which kind of forces you to reflect and look back on, you know, what you have done in X amount of years. But the good thing about that is, you know, there's two sides to every coin. Sure, you could have done more in the past 10 years, but you still got from now to the moment you die.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's what are you gonna do to that point?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, dude. It's one, yes. It's you have your own house. That's huge now. Like
Yeah.
the American dream has never been more expensive. And I feel for you because I know you wanted to buy a house last time we spoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't be able to do what I did with real estate 5 years ago today. I couldn't. And so I got lucky from that aspect. But it's also you have a lovely lady upstairs. You're engaged, right? You're
Engaged,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're engaged. It's like even today's dating market is a bitch.
Yeah.
It's a bitch. I feel for my friends. I feel for my friends. I'm like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
It's like you're not gonna find your dream girl at a bar.
Yeah.
You're not gonna just, you know, you got to go to fucking coffee shops or libraries or
Yeah.
shit
Go to
like
Barnes
that.
and Noble.
Yeah.
Bars and
Again,
Nobles,
like,
right?
And I'm not,
It's
and
like-
again, I do want to make sure, like I say this, God forbid, like Holly ever listen to this, but I'm very happy with what I've done in the last
Right.
10 years.
Yeah.
And like,
But
you
there's
know,
always,
and
in
I,
the back of your head, there's always that I could have done
Of course.
more.
like, yeah, but I was like, dude, that's 10 years. And the 10 years went by fast. I could have done more. And then it's like, okay, what am I going to do in the next 10 years?
Exactly.
And then like, you kind of feel that pressure. And I'm like, I got to
And I
do
promise
everything.
you, when you're 40, you're gonna be looking back. It's like, oh, I should have
Yeah.
done a little bit more
Yeah.
of this.
The only thing that's kind of made me feel good, because I've thought about it for a while, and I was like, dude, 10 years ago you were 20 and stupid.
Right, right,
I like
right.
that was like a mulligan for
Right.
like, and then like I was allowed to drink
Yeah.
like publicly, and I was
Yeah.
like, those 2 years were a wash.
Right.
Like 23 on.
Right. Right. I hear that from your 20s to your 30s, you're just fucking around.
Yeah.
And then 30s is once you really start figuring yourself out, is what I've heard.
Ideally.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like something I always tell people is you're on your own journey on your own timeline, people. Your own timeline. Like, when it's right for you, it'll happen.
Yeah.
You know, if you're working towards it, it'll happen when it's right. Here's two train of thoughts that I have. One, everybody's in their own journey. Two, I truly believe that there's someone for everybody out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a matter of, you know, how long are you willing to wait for that to happen. And by wait, I don't mean sitting around, because you got to make yourself available for that.
Yeah.
But those are two things I believe. But it's just some people give up.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah,
give
I
up.
think it's also is like, you know, it's kind of sharing a like lifestyle as well, right? To like where, you know, because I've also like, you know, told friends that are like, like, you know, all these girls. I'm like, dude, you're going to the bar in like a college town in the middle
to
of
the bar, you're going
in the
to
middle
a
of the
rave,
night.
you're going to
like,
this.
when's the last time you've been to a Barnes and Nobles? You checked
Yeah.
out a book at a library? Like,
Yeah.
what are you haven't been
Yeah.
doing anything like good.
You want
Yeah.
you want someone of this caliber, but you're going over there.
Yeah. It's like you can't
Yeah.
find any good food in the trash. What the fuck? There's no
If
good food out there.
if you find the one at the bar, it's because her friends dragged her out.
Yeah, yeah, if.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
yeah. And then her friends are probably the same ones that are going to try to ruin their relationship.
Yeah, and I think
Because they
It's
can't
a
stand
whole thing's
because they can't
catastrophic.
stand, you know, and all the girls being single, and then one of them that doesn't even want to go out all of a sudden found her husband.
And I also think like when you're younger, it's easier to find quote unquote the right one in a bar because everyone's young. Like
Yeah.
when you're young, you go to the bar.
well, that's
free
a saying.
spirit.
There's a saying: young, dumb, and full of cum.
Yes.
You know, everyone, no matter how good or put together of a person you are in your 20s, like you're probably spending some time
Yeah.
at the bar.
Yeah.
Once you hit like 30, the people who, if you want like a long-term serious relationship, you want someone you can build your life with, they're probably not at the bar anymore.
Yeah.
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 They've moved on.
Yeah.
And you need to move on as well if that's what you want.
Yeah, and I've seen it the opposite way, where like we're like girl TikTok, where like girls are like, yeah, you're looking for a man. He's not at the bar. He's at the gas station at 5 a.m. Okay, he's filling up his truck and going to work.
Well, that could be two ways. Like he just got home from going out, or
Yeah,
or he's going to work. You know.
Give them a sniff.
I've been both.
Like alcohol.
You know.
that's very true.
So I mean, it's just here's the thing though. If you're not, those are things you don't have control over.
Yeah,
But what you do have to control over is what you do, how you view things. You know, how you let your emotions control you, and because here's the thing: if the right opportunity comes around, if you're not ready for it, you're not gonna be able to take it, like capitalize on it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the opportunity's going to miss you if you're not available for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I think that's what like kind of one of the main takeaways that like where I was like, what am I gonna do in the next 10 years? Like, how am I gonna do
Yeah.
it? And like the number one thing, like so far, doing stuff has been the most productive.
Yeah.
Right. So like going out on a whim, doing this podcast,
Buying
and then,
that car.
Yeah, buying that car, which like just I mean, you know, again, like it's like kind of. I don't want to say opening doors, but it's just like
Yeah.
opening opportunities,
Yeah.
you know, kind of like moving towards like, well, like now I'm like kind of more interested in like this like group of people and like hanging out in these
This
areas
type of
and like,
content creation.
yeah, you know, and it's done so much, you know, and like this podcast alone is kind of like sort of
Well,
elevated.
we wouldn't have met you.
Right.
Yeah,
There you
right.
go.
We
Yeah.
met you
How did
and-
we connect?
I have no idea. I think
I forget.
it was
The
obviously
universe
it was-
works in
obviously
mysterious
it
ways. Yeah,
was certainly
literally.
social media.
I forget if like
But
you
yeah,
saw
I
one
think-
of his videos
It had to be
and
social
you
media,
just
yeah.
reached out.
yeah,
Or,
I think
it was definitely Instagram if I had to
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I don't know who the first. I mean, I may have just stumbled upon you.
But I think it was social media,
Yeah.
right? It was social
Yeah.
media. We don't have any direct connections.
Yeah,
to
and I
anybody,
think you know, I think I saw that like you're on your bio. It said Delaware, and I was like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah.
follow. and,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
that's my hometown.
we kind of just
Yeah,
started,
yeah.
You were posting like cool stuff and like we're just interesting stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Where I had like decided to make like
Yeah.
a comment, and then you know, then you were like, hey, like we should like work together, like you know,
Absolutely.
blah, blah, and hang out,
Absolutely.
and then you know, here we are. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
no, we're
but
already
again, like
can.
you know, and what you were saying before about like going to lunch and doing these kind of things, like I want more of that. Like instead of it, like you know, only
Networking.
ever being this, and every single weekend, this is what I have. Because like you know, I dedicate time to Holly, and I dedicate time and the dogs as well. But I also like to dedicate time to work on the weekend as well for my day job, and then I dedicate a little bit of time for like other fun activities or just housely duties, repairs and different things.
You know who your best friend is if it's not already? A calendar.
Yeah, I mean, I have my phone calendar.
Yeah,
and,
make it your best friend.
Yeah,
that's the only way you're gonna be able to fill up all the cups you're trying to fill up.
Yeah.
Literally, especially with the like for me,
making an itinerary of like.
Honestly,
4 a.m. push-ups on the balcuni.
Yeah, you need to make one of these,
Get
morning
rid of
routine videos.
Yeah.
You need a morning routine video, and that needs to be your life.
Like even with the podcast, our thing looks like a nightmare. Like I'll show you what our calendar looks like.
Is it like your digital calendar, or is it like a pencil in?
No, it's all digital.
Yeah,
okay.
Like this is like in April, and then I think we have stuff for May too. It's like this is just because it's just how I'm able to get that stuff out of my head, and now that's
basic
there.
organization.
Yeah. Right.
Keep on top of
literally, because like even with the podcast,
I love that you say basic. I'm like.
It really is though, but what's hard about it is sticking to it.
Yeah.
That's what's hard about it, sticking to it, because like.
True.
Like I categorize things for the podcast. I have EP podcast relationships, which is going out to lunch and meeting potential prospects for the podcast. I have EP podcast recordings. I have I even have sometimes EP podcast outings. That way I'm able to keep track of the culture. Like am I setting up stuff where we could all hang out and kind of decompress or whatever the thing is.
Building exercise.
Like
that's
little shit
inside
like that.
your group.
Yeah, literally. And then I also have like EP podcast deliverables. Mm-hmm. So this post is going to be posted on this day at this time. Now I don't always stick to it, but it's there.
Yeah.
But it's there. The expectation is there. That way my team knows, hey guys, this is what we're doing on these
You have
days.
a concrete goal to strive for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
whether
it's
you
like,
make it or not, you'll learn along the way.
Because what's going to happen is if you guys don't discuss like what you think this podcast is going to do or what you think this podcast is going to do, if you guys don't just have that discussion and have it in a way where you could both see it, there's going to be conflicts down the road. There's going to be conflicts on the road, and as long as, because that's the thing with relationships, right? Before you get, I'm sure you've had this, with Holly before, and like before you get engaged or get married, it's like you want to have some complicated conversations beforehand. It's like, oh, where do you want to live? It's like, oh, how do you feel about me doing this? How do you feel about me doing that? It's like all those little things. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, just marrying that into everything else. Yeah. It's the same thing. Because you guys are committing the time, the energy, the resources, everything. So you guys got, it will only benefit you guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right, for sure, what just reminded me though, what I was just thinking when you said like relationship stuff. So like one of the most I think, and it was Holly was the one and only time I did this, but it was because I was actually kind of making big boy money, ish. But when we first met, we'd known each other for maybe like 2 months, and then my friend was like, "Hey, we should I want to go to Florida this year. Like we're gonna go in October or November. Like you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then Holly was like, kind of there and was like, "We should all go." And like doing that like long trip, very like in the early stages of being like if you can sit on an airplane and go like a whole week in another place in a hotel, like that's when you're really going to find someone's true colors. Like you're going to find like how they keep their toothbrush. Yeah. You're going to figure out like how they are in the morning.
Was it 2023 where James got married? So yeah, we went to Costa Rica for a week for my cousin's wedding. And we ended up booking a place for the entire week, and literally it was awesome because we were able to establish a routine and everything like that. So it's like, that's really when you find out all these kind of things, and it's like for example, another conflict we recently had was that was expectations when it comes to sports, right? Like what the expectation we really originally set was that I was going to do football with the guys, and then we're going to do baseball because she likes baseball.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but at some point it became too much guys, right?
Yeah.
Too much guys. So it's like having those conversations beforehand. We still haven't had a conversation about baseball season starting, but we need to. But the reason I started becoming, and this is going out on the tangent here, is because she started her own business. She started her own business through crocheting. I remember one time she gave me a little crocheted eagle. Right,
Yeah.
she gave me a little crocheted eagle. I'm like, you know how my fucking brain works. I'm like, holy shit, I can make you your first $1, right? I can make you your first $1. I can make you your first $1. And then I'm like, you know what? Make 10 of these. We'll price it out like $10.
Nah, 20.
Well, maybe like we sit down, we start talking about. I'm
at
like,
least 20.
make 10 of these. We'll price it at 10, and then we'll test out the market. And then I'll take it every time because I would go with my friends to go watch at Xfinity Live all the Eagles home games.
Yeah.
Right. I will take, and then we will tailgate beforehand, and I'll take them all with me. And for me, that took me back to like my early college days where we would set up shop and sell stuff and all that kind of crap. So I'm like, oh, this is light work to me. Literally. So I'm like, all right, make 10. We'll price it at 10. I'll take it with me to the tailgate. So here I am, fucking showing up with a Nespresso box, like shipping box. Yeah, well, like a brown Nespresso shipping box with a bunch of fucking like Eagles in there. And I just start going around. Now I'm like, yo, it's like, sell this eagle.
Yeah.
It's like, here's how I did. I was like, we gotta frame it in a way where, it's appealing to people. One, we're already in the right market and the right crowd because we're at a tailgate.
Yeah.
Yep.
People, Eagles, as we all know, Eagles fans are big.
Yeah, this is the easiest market you're going to come across.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, but how do we not only make it transactional where they get the toy, but how do we make the offer so good that they would feel stupid saying no? Right. For one, we're giving them a handmade crocheted eagle. On top of that, we found the Be Philly Foundation, which contributes to the youth in Philadelphia, that just so happens to be founded by Jason Kelsey. So now you're supporting the youth in Philadelphia. Oh, and then Jason Kelsey, who was, legend in the Eagles. And now we're pitching you all this in like 10 seconds. For every dollar, for every eagle we sell, we donate $1 to the Be Philly Foundation.
Damn.
So we're talking, like 80% profit? 80% profit. And sorry, I don't know if you're okay with me saying that. Say 80s. No, 90% profit. And I'm like, and you know what? What does a little little box in Amazon that adds to the experience of getting the toy cost, right? And we added that
Makes it
into
feel
it.
that much more official.
And then on top of it, we put a little note saying, "Thank you so much for buying a Be Philly Foundation." We did like an animated version of the Dilly. It's called Dilly. And he's like, "Thank you so much. You're supporting the youth." And then boom, and I thought iPhone. What do they do? They have the box, slide it up, and then you're getting like the little iPhone paper and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's do that. The wheel's already there. How do we make it into our own? How do we put that wheel on our car?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's a great analogy.
And dude, all 10 sold out under 30 minutes.
Nice.
Under 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I told her I was going to make her first $1. I made her first 100 in under 30 minutes. And I took a fucking break in like 15 minutes in just because I'm like, all right, cool. This is working.
And you're somewhere fun.
And how many have you sold to date?
I think it's somewhere around 70.
So she sold 70 in one season. She sold 70 in one season, and now she has like a whole line of other products that now she's selling that she crochets, and now she's about to have her own shop this month at market at an event. So it's like it went from I'm going to make it her first $1, so now she's completely taken it on her own. Like she's just now she has her Etsy shop and this thing and the other.
And that's a perfect masterclass in how to build a business from essentially like, I don't want to say nothing, but like from the ground up.
But it's something that like you have to love. Like clearly, like she's passionate about it. So like it's hardly work.
Right.
Like,
Obviously,
you've made incredible progress in the next like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Another product.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing. My whole thing is like now I started thinking it's like if I could do this for other people, that'd be great. It's like my whole spiel would be like I'll make you your first $1.
Yeah. See
Yeah.
that
I'll make you
nicely
your first
into,
$1.
The thing that I've been kind of like wanting to talk about is you talk about networking with all these successful people because you run EPEX now and you have some high like profile people coming in to like talk. Where is ground zero? Like how do you begin to even break into that space? You talk about like, okay, I want like for example, I want financial success. Surround yourself with people who are financially successful. How do you even begin to do that? Because a lot of people are trapped in like I'm in a low-paying job. I have no time.
Yeah.
Life is overwhelming. How do I
Yeah.
even begin to network like that?
Well, you just took the first step. You asked the question.
Yeah.
You asked. That's
Okay,
the first step.
So
the
what's
second
the second step?
So one is getting to the point where is you ask the question. The second point is analyzing if you have anybody in your network that could potentially connect you to someone that has the answer. The third step is being around those people, and then making it very clear to them. He's like, hey, I admire this about you. This is something that I want to do for myself. You'd be surprised. A lot of these people are happy to help, are happy to guide you. When a man is rich and I mean extremely wealthy, and you just is one of those people that you just don't know what gift to get them because they already have everything. The best thing how they derive fulfillment is by giving, right? Providing that same comfort for somebody else. One guy that I met when I worked at a country club, he had a saying: you go through life in stages. You learn, you earn, and then you return. Mm-hmm. Right. So when they're at a stage where they've already made their money, they already made their career, now they just want to help. You can help in many ways through either giving away money or giving away time. Right. So it's like, that's the thing. But here's the thing. You need to take that step. Mm-hmm. You need to be vulnerable. Yeah. Right. You need to it's like, here, I don't know shit about shit. You know shit about shit. How do I get to know that? How do I get to that level?
Yeah.
So and that's really it.
Yeah. And is there any like what can I offer you kind of things? Like, do you put yourself out there, like being available to be like, if Adrian's the rich guy and I'm like, well, I want to learn what that rich guy has to say. So I have to come up to him and I have to be like, well, look, I mean, I can offer you. Like,
it varies. You gotta know what it depends on the person, what it is that you want from them. So, for example, when I got into real estate, I happened to meet somebody that was doing really well at it, and then I wanted to learn it. And because real estate, when you do real estate work, sometimes there's a lot of hands-on stuff happening. So I was like, hey, I'll help you out wherever I can. I'm just happy to learn the process along the way. Take me to these properties that you see yourself and all that kind of stuff, and I'm more than happy to help you whenever. And we even had the discussion the other day with him. He was like, yeah, you would do all these things without me paying you. Even when I tried to pay you, you wouldn't let me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I gained more from the hands-on experience you gave me than from what you could have paid me. So that's one way. So figure out what it is that can mean something for that person. There's something of value for that person, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, like that works well if you're getting into a potentially financially lucrative field like real estate. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, you and me, if we wanted to replicate that, we could maybe like prod our boss about something like that since he owns the business and all that. But like, what if you are a fast food worker in McDonald's?
Okay.
And you have no network of financial value.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do you even begin to pull yourself out?
There's something
Adrian
called
wants to know how you turn a dollar into a million.
Then there's the next thing, right? then there's the next thing, right? It's the proximity principle.
Yeah.
The proximity principle states that it's the more you are around the people you want to be around, is the more likely you are to connect with them and leverage a relationship. For example, you want to, I'll use Delaware. You want to meet people that might be doing really well. You might want to go hang out at the Cavalier at the Hotel DuPont. Because the Hotel DuPont is one of the more bougier hotels there, and the Cavalier is open to the public. You might meet someone there. It's like, oh, that guy's wearing a nice suit. That guy has a nice watch on his wrist. Or, oh, he just pulled up in a nice car. Or, like, I like the environment he's creating around him. It's like, hey, can I pay him a compliment? Pay him a compliment. People love to be flattered.
Yeah.
People love to be
put
flattered.
yourself out there is really the gist.
Literally. So where are the people
that's
that you...
ground zero.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there. Put yourself in situations where you might meet someone successful, and hopefully build from there.
And if you can't find that space, create that space. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're at the 3-hour mark here.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. Time flies.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can share with you guys that you guys like to know?
No, man. I think you covered it. I love it. I mean, I guess the last thing I was going to ask you was like what your goals are for this year as far as like growing yourself.
So we're at 67, 68 episodes with the podcast. I think we're going to see 100 this year. Okay. So that's the goal there, making it a little better every time that we can. We're also, with EPEX, my goal is always to deliver all of the expectations I set at the beginning of the year, because at the beginning of the year, I send out the calendar for the year. So it's always delivering those expectations, making the summit twice as big as we did it last year.
And that's going to be in Philly this year.
That's going to be in Philadelphia this year. And just apart from that, just kind of just keeping at it day to day. Those are the biggest goal I have. Just keeping at it. There's really not much to it. At that once you got an annual like schedule that just rotates, it's just making it a little bit better over time. Yeah,
you sort of kind of hit an autopilot almost.
Yeah, literally, which allows me to get creative a little bit, right? Because
it's good.
The things I spoke to you guys about last year, it's not far from what I'm speaking to you this year, but I'm able to give you different little insights.
It's been refined.
Yeah. So like now, like I'm talking to you guys about ManyChat. I'm talking to you guys about, we strategically set up 2 new people that we're going to meet a month for lunch. Yeah. How we go about that. It's just like, how do we get better and better and better and better at it?
Definitely.
So yeah. Guys.
I love it, man, and thank you so much for doing this again.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. Hey, let's do it again next year.
Yeah,
let's do it again next year. Yeah. No, the podcast people should be working together. There's enough in the pool for everybody.
Yeah.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
And best of luck to everybody. Best of luck to you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys at 810, uploads on YouTube.
Yeah.
So and until next time, man. Until next time. If you haven't, snap. That's my podcast.
Throw the pitch.
Yeah.
No, hey man.
Hey guys. If you guys want to learn more about entrepreneurship, owning business, and then just from public figures, come to our podcast at EP Podcasts on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. Not the Evergreen Podcast. Screw them. And I'm coming out and saying them.
Link in the description.
Yeah, literally. And EP Podcasts. And so if you're looking to be around people with growth mindsets that are making conscious efforts to improve their lives daily, come to EPEX. Come to EPEX. We host monthly calls. We have quarterly events, and we just do the thing.
And they can reach you by email on the website?
Just DM me. It's probably the best way is DM me. Yeah.
EP Podcast on Instagram.
Just go to Emilio Pastor, Emilio D. Pastor. I'm not a pastor. That's just my last name. Yeah.
And I'll put all your links down
I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. It's been great.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.